Testing 1 2 1 2.
I hear you.
I'm not sure what's going on with the panel, but it's not picking it up. So it's got our logo there. I can hear us in the stream, so they can hear us, but when they're not seeing the panel, no idea why. I can't get it to detect the panel, but I think they can hear us. Might check in the chat. Anyone in the chat hear us?
You're picking up on my stream. I can hear you.
Yeah, I think we've got audio but no video, but it doesn't matter. Well, we're not showing video anyway.
Lev's in my chat room. He said audio is good.
Good. Hello, Lev. Yeah, welcome people. Tonight's stream is going to be a little different to the usual type of stream we do. It's more a case of detailing some of the things that's going on in our lives at the moment. But we'll wait till more people come in and make sure everyone can hear us. And yeah, Vian can hear us, Luca can hear us, John can hear us. Hello, guys. We've lost the panel for some reason, but the good thing
yours is showing the map.
Yeah, weird, huh? Never mind. Yeah, it still works. People can still hear us. That's the main thing, because that's all you need to hear tonight, what we're saying. But yeah, we'll give it 5 minutes. Let people come in and then we'll continue. Yeah, good to be live again, people. We haven't been live for a while because of certain events taking place in our lives lately. So we're going to give you some updates on these events, and then we can maybe have a chat about other things after this. But some of this is quite important. Now, we don't know if you're just all aware of what's been happening in Unconscious's life. Hello, Tom. But we're going to speak about that first. And we'll take it from there. Because one conscience is also looking for advice from people that know what's right and wrong with certain things that she's going to bring up. And we'll talk about that. So we're good. We're good to go on. We're loud and clear, it seems, and it's good to hear you back on.
Thank you.
And good to hear about Destiny.
Yeah, very good.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how many people are aware, but my daughter was involved in a domestic violence incident, and she's actually been dealing with this for a couple of years, but I couldn't get her to understand to get away from this person. So this person beat her up really bad. He fractured her face and head in 6 different places. And we took her to the emergency room and she couldn't breathe. So they intubated her, and then they life flighted her to a neighboring town, which has better hospitals than my town. And from there, the plan was to get her breathing fixed and do reconstructive surgery on her face. And then 5 days into it, they took her tube out and she couldn't breathe still. Her throat closed. So they went to re-intubate her, and they couldn't get the tube to go back in. So the doctor He put a incision on her throat to put a trach in her neck. And the anesthesiologist that was on scene somehow shoved the tube down her throat anyway, and it caused her to aspirate. So at that point, everything got very, very bad. Her oxygen dropped to very dangerous levels. The doctor, he was pretty much preparing me for her to pass away. And then he tells me there's this machine called an ECMO machine, and that it could save her life, but that they didn't have it available at that hospital. And so he was trying to get administration to allow them to bring the machine into the hospital because there was one doctor on site that could administer it. It was called cannulate. And the administration said no, that was not going to happen. So the administration wanted my daughter just to sit there and die this very horrific death. And the doctors were very upset. And for 6 hours, we sat and watched her just about die. Her oxygen dropped down to the teens, supposed to be, in the 90s. Her blood pressure dropped down to about 53 over, I don't know, like 36. The administration kept insisting that they had to procure her a hospital and transportation before they would allow this machine to even be brought into their hospital. And the doctors kept saying, why can't we just put the machine on her, save her, and then get the bed and the transportation? And administration refused. For 6 hours, they refused. And so the doctors kept fighting and working and making phone calls. And from about 3:30 that afternoon, and finally at about 11:30 that night, they had a bed in St. Louis and transportation secured. So then the administration allowed them to bring in the machine, and we were down to seconds of her life. That's when everything was just so low that I don't know how she survived. I just figure it wasn't her time. And they put the machine on her, and it switched everything around immediately. Like, her oxygen went up to 100%. What that ECMO machine does is takes the blood out of your body, runs it through a machine, oxygenates the blood, and puts it back into your body. It's a lung life support. So finally, about 12:30 that night, they got her on a helicopter and got her taken over to Barnes in St. Louis. And then she was in a coma for the next 31 days because she had aspiration pneumonia. They still didn't know if she was going to survive at first, but it was worth trying because she's a person and she's worth it. Administration did not think so. And all this occurred because of domestic abuse. Nobody ever wants to talk about that. Not even the people that are involved in those situations want to talk about it. But it's something I think that people do need to talk about. So my questions kind of come about is shouldn't the anesthesiologist have just let the doctor do his job and not interfered and not shoved a tube down her throat and made her aspirate? And isn't it wrong and unethical for the administration to have any say of whether who gets to live and die?
Good
You know,
question.
I don't.
Yeah.
Huh?
Good questions. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where, my questions come in. I don't know if anybody knows anything about medical malpractice and if it sounds like that is, because it sounds unethical to me. I lived it, so I'm biased. But, you know, I don't think that an administration, just the business people of the hospital, should have any right in what is or isn't able to be given to people. If it's able to be given to them and it will save their life, isn't that the hospital's job to do so without question?
Is as far as I'm aware one.
That's what I think.
That's what they exist for, isn't it?
That's what I thought.
So it seems a political kind of move, that, doesn't it?
It does. Like a bunch of red tape.
So what's politics doing in the hospital is the
It
question,
shouldn't.
isn't it?
Yeah, it shouldn't at all.
Shouldn't exist in a hospital. That's not what they're there for.
Yeah.
So there's one conscience's question, people. Is this medical malpractice? Are people aware this takes place? Has it happened before? By the sound of it, it probably has.
It sounds like it has.
It's something, someone wants to do an investigation into that hospital and their practices.
Yeah.
To me, anyway. That sounds well out of order for people that's there to save your lives.
Yeah.
That must be a terrible thing to go through. Watching all that unfold.
Yeah. It was quite traumatizing. All of it. From the point that I picked her up being beat up all the way through all of that. There's points I can't even close my eyes without seeing her.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
traumatizing. Yeah. That's why
Yeah.
we haven't been active for the last month or so, people, because one's got this thing going on, and there's events in my life that are interfering with mine, which we may or may not get into later, but let's get through ones first.
Well, Vian said, can I get legal advice? Yes, I'm actually waiting on a lawyer to call me back about it because, I think what they did was wrong. All the way from the anesthesiologist shoving a tube down my daughter's throat when an incision was already made by her doctor, the one who was overseeing her, all the way up to the administration who should have never had a say about a machine that there was a doctor on hand to be able to use. They shouldn't have let her lay there for 6 hours dying with her oxygen dropping. Stuff like that can cause brain damage.
Yeah.
Which, she's doing good. So I'm blessed and grateful that it wasn't her time. Truly, I feel like for whatever reason, when that machine went on and I saw everything turn around, I actually felt like it was a miracle, like just occurred because I was really prepared for the worst. They even had a chaplain come in and pray over her body. Yeah, Luca.
Terrible
She's home.
situation.
Yeah, she went to Barnes, so she got in way better hands as soon as she got to St. Louis because that's one of the best hospitals in the United States. And um, she actually recovered after her induced coma. She um, recovered and got released in 11 days. She was completely healthy before all this happened. There was absolutely nothing medically wrong with my daughter. She was fine. She's a 27-year-old lady. And, now she's released and she's working on recovery. She still has some things that need to get better, but no need to be hospitalized.
Great news. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing is staying at different hotels in St. Louis for the last I was there 41 days and we've been home for like a week now. So
Great news. Great to
yes.
get you back. That's what one's been going through, people, for the last month or so. But yeah, she does want advice, and anyone
Hey,
else have
Jax.
thoughts on the matter?
Sorry. Jax said she was in the other chat.
Hey, Jax. Hello, Jimbo.
Oh, Jax, I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you. And it was awful. Yeah.
Not nice situation to be put in.
Yeah. Her spirit is very strong.
She's a fighter one.
Yeah. She's a little redhead all the way through and through. Like she has the redheaded spirit.
Yeah. Great to hear. And give her a big hug from me
Definitely.
and the people in the chat. Is this perpetrator arrested? VN what asks.
Oh, yes. He is arrested and he is charged with attempted murder and domestic assault with a strangulation. Yeah.
You do have a strong justice system over there when it comes to that.
Well, somewhat. They like to plea people down, and that's my fear, is they're going to plea him down. I hope they don't. So just in case, I wrote a journal every single day of what she had to go through to give to the state's attorney in hopes that they don't plea him down.
And this isn't a one-off thing, is it?
Say what?
It's not a one-off event that's happened, is it?
No.
He's attacked her before, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been attacking her off and on, more on for the last 2 years. Why she continued to stay with him is beyond my understanding, but he made her rely on him financially. He made her feel like she was just shit and just no self-esteem at all. He gave her
Control freak then.
he was. He didn't want her to do anything with anybody ever. He would go through her phone and that's what set this off was he somehow got her in the car on her way to work and went through her phone and realized because they had been broke up. They had been broke up for a little while, but he found out that this guy was texting her, showing interest in her, and that's when he decided to beat her almost to death. It was a buildup. It started out small. At first he was actually a really nice guy, and he had me fooled, and it started out small pushes, slaps, and then she turned up with a black eye, and he would always apologize, and then she turned up with 2 black eyes, and he was still sorry, and then he got her to move to another town, and that scared the crap out of all of us because we couldn't even help her because she was an hour and a half away. And then I still went and picked her up a few times when he had attacked her. And she'd had him arrested a few times, but they kept letting him out with just a slap on the wrist. And I think after that, she gave up on trying to tell the police about it
Wow.
and just dealt with it and looked at it like it was normal. You know, was alcohol involved? I don't think so. I don't think he was drinking that day. I know they both drank, but I don't think he was. It was at noon on a Saturday. It was like 11:15 in the morning. It was 12 when I picked her up, or 12 when I got her to the hospital anyway. No, he's just a psychopath. Just a complete psychopath with zero remorse.
Yeah, it sounded like.
Yeah. I just hope they give him the max time and don't plea it down, because sometimes they like to plea stuff down, you know, people being arrested, and it's all political,
Yeah.
you know, being that it's probably getting close to um, you know, voting, I think, for some of our local stuff. Maybe they'll go harder on him.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a true psychopath. When I picked her up, he walked her out of the house. She couldn't see. Her eyes were both swollen shut. And he was smiling. He was smiling like he was proud of what he had done. And when I asked him, I jumped out of the car to grab her and asked him, "What the fuck did you do?" He smiled in my face and spit on me.
Spat at you.
Yeah. Yeah, he seemed proud of what he had done.
Unreal.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was definitely a bad deal, but yep, that's kind of what I've been dealing with and trying to get past it so I can get back to normal, you know, and go back to work.
But yeah, I guess the worry now is, like you said, one, are they going to be lenient or not?
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping they're not. So, anyway, that's
Well,
about all I have to talk about, really.
kind of leaves you speechless, doesn't it?
It does. I couldn't talk for a long time, actually.
Yeah, well done on bringing it out today.
Yeah, it needs to be brought to light. There's, a lot of people that deal with these things on a daily basis, and it doesn't matter what kind of a household you come from or what your race is or how you were raised. It doesn't matter. You could be a doctor, a lawyer, a police officer, you could be homeless, you could be a drug addict, you could be anything, and you could still be faced with these situations.
Yeah, that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
So it's a cross-section of society, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And people don't talk about it. They just keep it quiet, keep it hidden. It's like the monster in the closet. Nobody talks about it. But, you know, people should understand if they're in this situation and it's very just small or it starts out slow, it could get worse and it could get really bad. And, if you know somebody like that, you can't push them. You can't talk them out of not staying, because I tried that. So I really don't even know what you can do to help, because I tried everything, and it took her almost dying before she opened her eyes to see that this wasn't okay.
Yeah, that he really did mean to harm her.
Yeah, because every time I tried to push her, I just seemed like I pushed her away from me,
Yeah.
you know?
I think that happens a lot more than people realise. These situations that women, it's even some men, I suppose, find themselves in
Yeah,
with no one to turn to. But the family's probably like, you've advised her before, and they just don't pay attention. They probably think nothing's going to happen to them.
right. And it's crazy because she knew. She knew that it was going to happen again. I don't know why she stayed with him. She just thought it was okay. Maybe she just felt like she didn't deserve better, but now she knows she does, you
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Gosh,
I'm grateful.
yeah. Well done on speaking about it. One, it can't be an easy thing to speak about this. You have to put yourself outside of it to speak about it, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. My dog, hold on.
Okay. Yeah, it seems when she was starting to get away from him, that's when he turned nasty. He was losing control over her, wasn't he? That's what it seems to me now. So yeah, it's definitely a control freak thing, that. Yeah, he knew, Luca. That's what I would class as an evil man. To abuse someone like that,
Yeah,
that's just evil, isn't it?
it is evil. My daughter ended up, my youngest daughter went on the news and she talked about it too. She's better at talking about things than I am, um, out in public anyway.
Yeah. A difficult situation for
Yeah.
people in that position. But that's why One Conscience wants to do a live tonight, people. So, maybe this information and advice might help someone else before it gets to that point with them.
Yeah, it could be. But like I said, even I still don't know how to get through to people that are faced with things like this. You know,
Yeah. Well, you've been there, you've tried it, didn't you?
I've tried and there's nothing, no words. So I think the person just has to realize that their worth is more than that kind of life.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the chatters think of it either. Looking at the comments, I think everyone's just speechless.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in and it's a lot to talk about.
Luca's got the best idea.
Yeah, I like Luca's idea. I vote for Luca's idea. Let's just take it upon ourselves to deal with it. Hand him over.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah. And it seems like this actually happens a lot around my town. Like there's a lot because around the time that that happened to her, another poor girl was stabbed repeatedly by her boyfriend. Like,
That's
I
disgusting.
don't know what the heck is wrong with people these days, And
What happened to
not
good old fashioned arguments?
Right, just
Yeah,
argue and get it over with, and then if you're that unhappy, leave for a few
yeah,
hours.
walk away. Yeah.
Like, and then a few, I don't know, a year and a half ago, another poor girl was beat to absolute death by her boyfriend. And I don't think that I'm not sure if he even went to jail. I don't think they caught him. They may have. I didn't. The news doesn't tell you that kind of stuff. They only tell you the horrible stuff and then they don't really follow up with it.
Mm. Yeah, it seems to be more common than you think.
And yeah, I agree with Jax. The woman is kind of blamed. When the newspaper put her story out, um, they kind of made it seem like she was just another woman, another statistic. And that's what actually made my daughter go to the news and speak out to speak upon my oldest daughter's behalf that it's not her fault. And my daughter says that too, Jax, that she's ashamed and she's embarrassed are the words that she uses, that she put up with it and she didn't want people to know. And now everybody knows. And I told her there's nothing to be embarrassed about or ashamed because these weren't her choices. Although her choice to stay and keep going back may not have been the best choice,
Yeah.
it's over now. And it's not her fault because she didn't make the choices to be a demon. She didn't do that. And yeah, the press, they ran with it before anybody even told us they were going to. And they printed her name, and it was kind of horrible and shocking to be sitting in the hospital and see that they printed this whole story with her name and the way they put it. And that's what made my youngest daughter go do an interview to stick up for her sister, that she's not just a statistic, that she is a person and she has feelings and she's important to people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're a human being.
Yeah,
Human beings should not be trapped this way.
exactly.
Yeah. Just leave me speechless, one. I mean, I'd probably get the channel taken down, for voiced my opinion on it.
Yeah.
You know what I stand.
Yeah, I agree. If the person is a famous person, then it's all holy and important. But if you're just a normal, everyday person, you don't matter.
What's important to people is the signs to look for. You
Yeah.
might just save someone's life. Although you tried one and, it didn't really help you much, did it? But luckily she pulled through and she's back home.
Thank God. Like, honestly, it wasn't her time, and I'm grateful because I just don't think it can be your time and be that close to death and then survive. So,
I can't believe how this hospital operated. The first one they took her to.
I'm sorry, my dog's barking. Well,
Yeah, I was just saying, I can't believe how this hospital operated. The first one that they took her to.
yeah, completely unethical.
You don't imagine a hospital behaving like that, do you?
No, I never in a million years would have thought that.
This is what the world's come into politically. I mean, politics has got into the hospitals. We know that with this bullshit thing that's going around, don't we?
Yeah, they have. And it's crazy because politics should not make medical choices, period. Those doctors signed that Hippocratic oath, and they should have the right to make all the calls because they're the ones that signed it and said the Hippocratic oath, and they're the ones that are trained to do treatments and make these decisions. Nobody else,
Yeah.
period. Administration shouldn't say shit about what they decide.
No. No. Even that's wrong, Jax, isn't it? A points list, what Jax has just listed there. Even that's wrong. Doesn't matter your background, you're a human being.
Exactly. Because this could be any background,
Yeah.
you know.
This could be anyone's daughter.
Yeah. Or mother or sister.
Yeah.
Could be anybody. And it doesn't even have to be violence because it can start out more of a mental and emotional thing and then lead into the violence.
Sounds like they got even more violence when she, you said they split up and she was starting to get her own life back.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when he really started to come unglued. Yeah.
Yeah. So he realized he'd lost control, didn't he?
Yeah. He could not control her and her choices anymore, you know. And then someone else was showing interest in her, someone that maybe would show her that not all guys are like him.
Hey, Baron, how's it going, mate?
Hey, Baron.
If you're late arriving people, you can rewind the stream and have a listen. We're just detailing what's been taking place in Mon Constance's and her daughter's life the past several weeks. And hopefully the stream can help others that's in them kind of situations.
Yep. And she's doing better now. And um, we're trying to build towards getting her, her own place where she doesn't have to be reliant upon anyone,
Yeah.
besides herself. And of course, we'll help her because we're her family. But, she needs her own things because he supplied everything. And she needs to get her own house because everything was his. And when she did leave, she lost everything. He wouldn't give her anything. So I don't even think he gave her all her clothes back when she left.
He doesn't wear them, does he?
I don't know.
Sorry, I had to get that in.
Yeah. I don't know at this point. Don't a lot of serial killers like wear women's clothing?
Yeah. It's a good job we've got a sense of humour on, isn't it? That's what keeps us human.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it, Baron. We've got to focus on the world around us. Yeah. Never mind what's on TV. Sort your world out first. You have to adopt Luca now on. He's a good. He makes good pizza. Apparently, we'll have to put that to the test someday, won't we?
Yeah.
We're going to test that. Luca's famous pizza.
In Springfield, we have a Lucas Pizza.
Oh wow, he's got shops everywhere. This guy already.
all the way in America.
Yeah, fancy that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Luca, you're out with job. Some other Luca beat you to it. But yeah, well done there, one, for going through all that.
Yeah. Well done to her. She's the one who fought it. I
She,
sat and
yeah,
looked at her and watched her screens and stared at her and kind of did some inside searching and soul searching of, you know, I still don't know.
she able to talk it one?
She can, but her vocal cords are still damaged. I'm not sure if it was, when they shoved that second tube down her throat. We'll have more testing coming up to see, what the damage is and is it repairable.
Yeah. Mhm.
But she still has pneumonia a little bit. She's healing. Um, she'll still have to have her fractures looked at one more time, even though after all of everything else that happened, they never did do facial reconstruction. They actually healed, they started healing on their own before they could even consider doing anything with her because she couldn't undergo any surgeries. Otherwise, she probably would have passed away. She wasn't strong enough. And she's weak. So she needs to get strong and be able to walk stronger and not be so shaky. Work on her fine motor skills a bit. Takes a lot out of you, I guess, when you sleep for 31 days.
Yeah. Coma, really, isn't it?
It is. It was a medically induced one, yeah. But that's what it was. They just like to use the word sedated so you don't hear the word coma and freak out,
Yeah.
even though everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
They don't want it to sound so bad. So,
It does help as well, doesn't it?
yeah, I mean, it does. And they had her heavily sedated. Like they had her on, I think at one point she was on 10 different medications, painkillers and different sedations. And if they'd lower them just a little bit, she'd try to wake up, which was kind of crazy because she should have never woke up under that kind of medication. And, but she was strong and healthy. And it took a lot to keep her down. I mean, it really did. Then when she woke up, she's like trying to mouth out words that she's leaving. And like, well, no, you're not. And she woke up full of fire. And then when she could talk, a couple sentences in, she said, after she realized how long she'd been asleep, she said, "See what happens when you let me sleep for a month?" And I was like, fair enough. Like, okay.
Is she standing and walking? Luca asks.
Yeah, she's standing and walking, you know, slow, but she's getting good. I just help her with things that she can't quite do. And then, they took her trach out, so that's healing. And I think her biggest fumble is trying to open like bottles of water. For some reason, that function isn't quite working yet very well. She's not strong enough to turn a bottle cap.
Yeah.
But other than that, she's doing all right. She gets tired easy, obviously. Of course, she still has pneumonia. That'll take time to heal. Her, when we got there, they diagnosed her with something called ARDS, and survival rate is not very high. So we're lucky that she was so strong and healthy to begin with, because that's probably what helped her survive, that she had no underlying illnesses. So,
Actually, when you think about it, one, it's lucky you were there, because these people would have took decisions that would have went against your decisions, wouldn't they, if you weren't there?
yeah, at Springfield, yeah. I don't think they would have done that in St. Louis. But in Springfield, yeah, they would have just probably let her die if I wouldn't have kept, you know, um, if I wasn't there. I don't think they would have went to the extremes they did to save her.
That's sad, isn't it, that? So yeah, my advice one, yeah, sue the ass off them. Because politics should not exist in that kind of a facility.
I agree. Like, it has no place in choosing what has to do with people's lives.
Yeah,
Life or death doesn't. And they had no problem, saying no. And even the doctor was upset. He wasn't the one even making the bad choices. Even when they made her aspirate, he wasn't the one that made the bad choice. It was the anesthesiologist, which in my opinion had no place pushing a tube down her throat when he had already made an incision to do an emergency trach, and that was his educated choice. And he was on the right track, because if he would have just done that, she wouldn't have aspirated, because a trach goes under your vocal cords, not through them. And when that anesthesiologist shoved the tube anyway, it went through her closed vocal cords. And now I think there's permanent damage to her vocal cords, because her voice is very hoarse and raspy still, and it should have recovered already. She's been awake for, um, she has been awake for over 2 weeks. She was awake 11 days when they let her out, and now she's been awake 18 days. So, yeah, she should have already recovered.
definitely
And that
pursue,
might just,
definitely
she
pursue
might,
that then.
huh?
Definitely pursue that then, yes.
Yeah, I'm waiting on a lawyer to call back to see what they have to say about it, because I feel like they did something wrong. I don't think they made the right choices. And knowing some kind of political administration, they're probably going to throw that anesthesiologist under the bus rather than take the hit themselves.
That's what they do, don't they?
Yeah,
Find the fall guy.
yeah. And I still think the anesthesiologist did wrong, but I think they did wrong too. But I don't know if anything we say or do will be able to get to people like that.
Yeah, Jack said it there. Look, she thinks the same. If there's no family present, nobody pushes them into action.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Because that doctor had to look me in my face the whole time because I wasn't leaving.
Yeah.
And then more family showed up. And so he had to look them into their faces. And I don't know, nobody knows my youngest daughter, but let me tell you, she is not someone that you would want to tangle with, because she will continue to ask questions until the right answer is given to her. And that's exactly what she did to that doctor. She stood there and looked him in his face and asked him question after question after question after question. He had to do something,
Yeah.
because she knew what she was talking about, and she floored him. Like, he was stumped that she was so knowledgeable.
Knowledge is power.
It is. So it made me feel a lot better when she showed up. She was there for her sister and there for me.
Well done, daughter, too.
Yep.
You got a nice family there, what?
Yeah. Yep, but if I wouldn't have been there, I don't know how it would have turned out. I just knew I couldn't leave her. I just had a feeling like I had to be there. Yes, she was in terrible shape, but some people would be like, "Well, I could go home and then come back." You know, Especially the first hospital, it was only 45 minutes from home. It would have been easy to leave and then come back, but something told me not to leave. So I
Yeah.
didn't. I sat there the whole time. And then when she went to St. Louis, there was no freaking way I was leaving. I was there with her the whole time. So, well, I take that back. I did come home for one day and have Amila's second birthday.
Hey.
So she turned 2. And
Baron says healthcare systems are useless without family getting involved.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the reality of some of these institutions, people. Who's really running the show here? That's the question, man, isn't it? Who's running these hospitals?
Yeah. It's the administration. It is. I found that out in a hard way. Yeah. Yeah. So the doctor, he didn't give up though. He did the right thing. Like, I have to give him props. It was him and another doctor, and the other doctor was the one who could, put the machine on. This machine is not everybody knows how to use it, but he was there and he knew how, and there was no reason not to get it brought in and do it, you know. And they fought, you know, till they got their way, and that's if the admin even it's questionable whether or not they actually even got the admin's permission. I know they secured the bed and the transport, and then I don't know if admin ever even approved it. I know they brought the machine in regardless, and that's all that matters. I know that doctors that don't usually show any emotion, that doctor showed emotion and he cried. He was relieved, and when they finally got the machine hooked up to her and her vitals turned around, he he cried, and I saw him cry, and he was really emotional, and it was, kind of shocking because doctors are usually so emotionless.
Mhm. That's a good sign.
Yeah,
There's still some humanity there.
yeah, yeah. Stop. The dog's being a little pain.
I'm just waiting to hear the little claws on the floor there.
No, we're in a carpeted room. That won't happen this time.
Yeah, you learned, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
The old streaming days.
Yep. Jack said 2 years old. Yes. Little Amila is 2 years old and doing wonderfully. And that's the same hospital that Destiny ended up going to, was the one that saved Amila. So
Mm.
yeah, I have all good things to say about that hospital.
Well done, that hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all about giving up before starting. That's a political statement, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've been
And
told, I think they've been told or ordered to be that way.
and I don't want to bring up the name of that thing that Baron brought up just there, but one of the nurses did tell me that when that thing first started, they were all so scared and they kept the doors closed on all the rooms, and they had their little gadgets right outside the door so they never had to go inside the rooms. And then he said as time went on, they realized that it wasn't what they were saying. So they opened all the doors back up and went into the rooms, and and everything kind of went back to normal because they realized that it was really exaggerated, was his words.
Good
And
word.
this was a doctor on a heart and lung ward, or I'm sorry, a nurse who was there all the time, and he'd worked there 15 years, and they dealt with those patients because that's where they would send them, was into these lung wards, and put them on these same machines that my daughter was on. And he said that they realized after some time passed that this thing was really exaggerated and there was nothing to be scared of, just to do your normal thing, because they wear masks anyway
Yeah.
because they're nurses, and wash your hands, and they were fine and none of them caught it. So that was a little conversation we had that
Yeah.
surprised me that he said that, but he did. So yeah, exaggerated was his words.
At least some of them seen it. Huh?
Yeah, I think a lot of them did. They're just not really allowed to talk out against it.
That shows you how bad the politics have got into it, doesn't it?
Yeah, because they'll lose their jobs, and that's politics. That's not being a good practitioner.
Yeah. And over here, some of them lost their jobs because the few refused to have the thing.
Yeah, the thing. Same here, though. People are losing their jobs if they don't get the thing. So, but we don't want channels to get pulled down. So that's enough about that.
Yeah, we've got a thing over there out the way.
Yeah.
That irrelevant thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's probably when the politics started getting worse in hospitals, thinking about it.
right. So what about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Where do you want us to start?
I know you've been dealing with some stuff too. So now today's about real life.
Okay, real life stuff in my life.
Yeah.
Well, as some of you may not know, early last year I lost my stepdad, who was also my mother's carer, because she's had strokes. He ended up in the hospital, and he was on his way out. He did have cancer, but in my opinion, they finished him off with the thing, which left my mother by herself. And that's why when I actually moved to my mother's. I sleep at my mother's 6 days a week and care for my mother as a carer. Out of the goodness of my heart, and because she's my mum. I don't get paid for it or nothing. I didn't ask for anything. I don't expect anything. So that's what I've been doing since last year. But something else took place last year, later on in the year. My younger brother wasn't responding to his phone calls. So I went round to his home, kicked the door in, and found him dead. The coroner says it was Western diet. His heart had stopped. It was too late for me to revive him. And so we had that to deal with as well last year, unknown to probably everyone in this stream. Kept it quiet. So I've had that to deal with, and also emptying his apartment as this was ongoing. When they removed him, I had to empty the apartment because it was there was no door left. They kicked the door down, so I had to empty his apartment and take all his belongings to my home. Now, his anniversary came up this year, and my mother had 2 brain bleeds, stressing herself out about it. So she ended up back in hospital in a stroke ward. So she was in there for I don't know, a couple of weeks, and they were still blocking visits to see her. They were allowing 2 family members once per day to go and visit her, which is pretty poor considering the thing doesn't exist. Anyway, this was ongoing, and they lied to her that she had to have a thing test. They told her she had no choice but to have this test done. And then they tried to say that she had the thing. So they rang me and told me we won't be able to visit her for another 10 days. The whole family would not be able to go to the hospital for another 10 days. So I rang her. I says, get yourself signed out of the hospital now and I'll come and collect you. Because no way on earth are you staying there by yourself when none of us can see you and know what they're doing. So they lied to her and then tried to say she had the thing. So that day was spent calling them and calling the hospital, asking, is she ready to be collected? Can I come and get her now? And they were dragging the heels, oh, we need a doctor to sign this, that, and the other. I says, you don't actually need to sign anything. She can legally walk out of that hospital. She couldn't walk, obviously, but she can legally remove herself from that hospital, free. No one can stop her. So if anyone ever tries to get you in a hospital and force you to have a thing test, decline it. Because they've obviously lied to you straight away, saying you've got no choice, because that's what they did with my mother. So I had to, go to the hospital and literally rescue my mother from this hospital and bring her home. That's what's been taking place the last couple of weeks here in my life, as well as these other events taking place and other events that I can't speak about yet because they're still ongoing. So my mother's now back home in safe hands. She's worse than she used to be. She needs a bit more care than she used to. So, my obviously other family members coming to help. So this is another reason why why I haven't been as active as I usually am, because I've got this taking place. So that's been occupying my life the last few weeks. That's where I'm at with some of the things going on in my life. So there's a little update from me on what's taking place in my life at the moment. And that's why I haven't been as active doing the research I usually do. Because obviously real life takes priority over certain things, even though the other thing's quite important.
Yeah, you saved her life.
I think we did, yes, by taking her out, removing her from that place. Because you've no idea what they're going to do to them. You can't go and visit them. She was not going to get any better on the stroke count. I knew that. I said, well, she's getting less exercise there than she was at home. I said that right when I rang them up. I said, look, she's not going to get any better because, I think they give her exercise once a day or, maybe once a week, who knows. I'd have to ask her. But every time we went, she was laid up in the bed. They would not give her a wheelchair, so she could not get around in the ward. So she was basically bedridden. Now, here's what pissed me off about the hospital. When we first went to see her, she was lying in pools of blood. There was bits of food lying on the floor, bits of toilet tissue. The place absolutely stank of shit from, there's other patients in the room. So when they were changing these patients, they were just putting the pads in the bin, but not taking the bin away. So all you could smell when you walked in this ward was shit. And then you would see flies crawling on it. I thought, oh my God, this is like a third world hospital. What's going on? You don't expect to see flies crawling over your mother in a ward stinking of shit, in a modern hospital. But this is what was taking place a couple of weeks ago. So, that wasn't the reason I wanted it removed. What the hell are flies doing in a ward in a hospital? Crawling on patients.
Zeus Scott asked her age.
She's 79. Our Angel is 79. And she loves our research. She gets it.
She's awesome.
Everyone's actually spoke to her, haven't you, one?
Yeah,
There's a
she's
few there.
sweet. She's a sweet lady. She's just sweet.
She is. Heart of gold. So, it was rescuing out the bloody hospital. That's what I had to do. Because I thought we probably won't see her again if you let them carry on doing what they're doing. This thing nonsense. So again, there's politics there, isn't there?
Definitely. So
It is the weird part one. Every time we went to see her, I don't know, there's probably about 15, 20 nurses there. I'd never seen any one of them ever wear a mask. All the times I went to visit, not one of them was wearing a mask. Then all of a sudden, oh, she's got COVID. And they've all got masks on. What? Yeah, she's glad to be on, Luca. Jax has chatted with her as well, yeah. So yeah, that's what my mother's going through currently. It's, this is still ongoing. I'm currently at my mother's now. I don't get to go home much. Because for that reason, I can go home, I'll go home for a few hours when my sister's here, keeping an eye on her and things, but, I do miss my own family. But, yeah, I'm the only one that's got more free time on my hands than the rest, so I'm here doing what I should be doing. As anyone else would do, I would imagine, for the mother.
as it should be.
Yeah, this is what family's about, isn't it? You look after each other, you look out for each other. So yeah, it's been a pretty traumatic year, really, one, hasn't it?
It definitely has. Definitely has.
Now, people in the team and of the APM group, they knew about this, but obviously they keep it to themselves because it's private information. But I don't mind speaking about it today. That's what we're here for, real world stuff. And at least you know now why we haven't been as active as we usually are, because we've got other things taking place. Yeah, Erin said it there. Sorry for the terrible things being done to our elderly. That's really what's going on. I'm still worried about the other people in that ward. Because what they did, after they said that she had the thing, they moved 2 people out that ward and brought another 2 people in that are supposed to have the thing as well. So there was 4 people in the ward now that had the thing, all in one room. I can imagine what the plans were for them 4 people. Can you?
I mean, hopefully the other people had family that were willing to stand up like you did.
I never ever seen anyone else there. One. There's the strange thing.
Those poor people.
Yeah. Nice people as well. 2 of them could even speak. So who's sticking up for them?
I don't even like to think about it. If nobody's sticking up for them, did they have the guts to, get up and walk out themselves?
Well, they were probably lied to as well about having to have that test.
Probably.
They lied to my mother. I told him in the hospital I wasn't happy about that. I says, who lied to my mother that said she had to have this test done? That's a lie. She does not have to have any test done that she doesn't want done. You never give her the choice.
And that's just another example of the unethicalness that's going on in these different hospitals and stuff. Doctors and nurses are not supposed to freaking lie. Like, they are supposed to be ethical people. You should be able to trust them, and you can't.
If you like that, you can't, can you? Oh, I was fuming.
No, I
I was,
bet.
I was fucking angry. There's no way on earth they're going to stop me taking her to hospital that day. What? You're going to try and block me from seeing my mother for 10 days? Well, you do what exactly? I don't think so.
Right. And then all of a sudden you'd get a phone call
Yeah.
saying she didn't make it or something.
Yeah, that's where it was heading. I made sure that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And it does seem planned one, because I had said to the doctor the day before, I can see your stroke team's done all they can on the stroke count, so why is she still in hospital? I said she actually gets around the home more, which is built around her condition, than she was stuck in a bed in that ward. I said she could, do more exercise at home because it is built around her condition. And he didn't know what to say. That's when I knew something was wrong. I think it was planned. I'd asked him that the day before. So, this is what's taking place in these hospitals. Bullshit running hospitals. Third world standards in hospitals. Flies and stink of shit was unbelievable in that room. Oh, no way on earth was I leaving her there.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
So she does require, obviously more care. She's definitely lost function she had before she went in. I don't know if they'll come back, because the trauma with my brother on her mind. She lost her husband and her youngest son the same year.
That's a lot to deal with.
It is. That's right, Baron. They Google the treatments. Google doctors. We'll just Google it and let's see what's wrong with you. We'll try you with this. Anyone ever says to you, we'll try you with this, punch them in the face. They're just trying to sell you something from Big Pharma. I know that because they used to do it with me when I used to go to the doctors. I've been to the doctors for nearly 10 years now. The side effects outweigh the cure, so why would you even risk it? So that's some of the things going on in my life, people. Not something I usually talk about either. I'm a private man. I keep to myself. But these things need brought out into the open so people can see what's really going on in these institutions. So, probably not what you expected to hear, but that's what's taking place. You still there, one? I think I just lost you. I think we just lost one conscience off the panel. Can people still hear me in my stream? Oh, 10-second delay probably, and wait 10 seconds for a reply. Lev or Baron or anyone, can you still hear me? Still hear me, Jacks, yeah? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we lost one conscience there off the panel. Not sure what happened, but she might be back. Yeah, it's not the easiest thing to talk about, VN. Gets you so angry, mate. It does. What they're doing. Yeah, but this stream, one conscience asked us to go live and says, can we give people updates on what's taking place? I was thinking of doing that anyway, just to give you all updates why we haven't been live. I was giving one conscience time to make sure her daughter was okay. There's no rush. We're still here. We can still answer questions in the stream. That we stream. But the research hasn't stopped. It's still ongoing. Yeah, it's just took a backseat at the moment. We have more videos and updates to give you on research, which we will get into more, of course. I do miss it. Priorities and other things at the moment taking precedence. Yeah, it probably does happen more than what we know, VN. I mean, for a small research team, you'll be surprised at what we talk about in our little group and how many families are affected by what's taking place in that group. We're seeing it all just in a little group of us, and that's just a snapshot of what's really going on. It's going on. I don't think people comprehend how much what's going on. Yeah, literally the same thing going on with everyone. Everyone's got these kind of things taking place in their lives. We're no different. We're just ordinary human beings doing what we do, and sometimes real life gets in the way and bites your ass now and then. It is what it is. But we have to continue on and keep doing what we do eventually. But first things first, make sure family members are well and safe. Yes, same with you, Jax. Jax is having the same thing taking place in her life, and others in the group are having the same things taking place in their lives. We all know the bullshit. And it does affect every one of us. No exceptions. These people are never going to stop. Our research is showing you why. That's the important thing. Our research is showing the world what these people are, why they're doing this. They don't want you to wake up. They don't want you to know where you live. They don't want you to know there's a creator and what they actually created. So they can steal it. Common thieves. That's what we're dealing with. Common thieves. And all the rest of it, of course. So, hopefully the world will wake up one day and realize what's really took place. I can tell you now, these people invented politics, religions, the royals, and the globe. All these are inventions by this entity to hide this world and how it works and its creator. That's what's really taking place. We don't know who the creator is, but we know there is one. Oh, fake food. Tell me about it, Baron. There's another thing happening in my life. Fake food stuff. I've lost so much weight in the last year. Let's not go there. You can imagine. You know, mother comes first. She needs care, so that's where I'm at. Caring for my mother, helping where I can, doing what I can, being with her. She's got company. She knows she's in safe hands. And that's all that matters. So, all you people, take care of your old and your young. They're after everyone. These people want everyone, and they're not going to stop. Free world is under attack. I'm pretty sure you all know that. It's a world coup. That's what's taking place. Well, the New World Order run just about every country now. There's the problem. They've been hiding inside our politics a long time, lying about everything. We know this. The important thing there is, there is a creator, and we know what the glory is. You people know what the glory is. You can go out there and see it yourself. You can't deny what your eyes show you. But they're denying you that knowledge and right to know it. Our ancestors knew it. Our decodings show you that. All this sacred geometry belongs to the creator's science, creator's technologies that run this world. Message off one, her Wi-Fi went off and she can't connect for some reason. I told her to keep trying. So yeah, one lost her Wi-Fi. Would you like to join the panel, Jax? And maybe speak about what's taking place with you? Might as well get it all out there in one go, people. Huh? Just wait and see if Jax responds. I'll give her the link. One's still trying to connect. She's lost her connection. The Wi-Fi has gone off. Sabotage, possibly. Yeah, Jax wants to join the panel. Oh, okay, I'll just give you the link, Jax. In fact, I'll put it in the APM chat. If anyone in the APM chat wants to join the panel, you're more than welcome. Downside might be because one conscience is running the stream. I'm just restreaming it. She might not be able to add you to the panel. There's a problem. You can't connect, Jax. It's because one conscience isn't back on the panel yet to let you join. So don't worry. She's still trying to join. Yeah, because she's hosting the stream. I'm just restreaming it. So the Wi-Fi comes back on, she won't be able to connect. Now, I did mention other things taking place in my life at the moment. Whatever comes of it, I may need to go underground for some time, meaning you will not see me for a while. That's all I can say on that matter. The team will keep you informed, don't worry. Make sure a message gets to them, whatever happens. I can hear something on the panel. The whole internet's gone down for one. Nobody's Wi-Fi's are showing up at One Conscience's home. Fancy that, people, huh? Yeah, don't worry about it, Jax. But one has to allow people in. She's hosting the actual panel. I can't, I'm not seeing you pop up, so I can't allow you in. It has to be done by one. So I stand by because whatever, I'm not sure what's gone at one's home, but no one's Wi-Fi seems to be showing up anymore at her home. I'm not sure if she can use a mobile or not. After that, I told her to try it. Yeah, we could start a new stream. I'm available to chat longer. I'm not sure how much time one's got on her hands, but she's definitely trying to get back in. It's past your bedtime, Jax. He's cheeky, that Baron, isn't he? Yeah, the panel pinging. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was a message from one. Yeah. You can't get back on the stream, so she can't let you on, Jax. She can't get in to let you on. How weird's that, eh? Timing. Yeah, all the Wi-Fi choices are offline, one said. So like there's no internet exists there all of a sudden. So yeah, I'm just relaying messages from one. So I'll keep chatting anyway. if you like. If you want to stay on those topics or change topic, just let me know in the chat. Any questions on things we were just discussed, feel free to ask them in chat. And fingers crossed One Conscience gets their internet back. Am I still streaming into water? Well, is One's stream still on her channel then? Yeah, it can't at the moment, Baron, until One Conscience joins the panel, because she has to allow people to join. She tried to get me, signed up for that, but because I don't live in the States, they don't allow it. How weird's that? It's supposed to be worldwide providers and this, that, and the other. And because I don't live in the States, I can't be given those kind of rights. How weird is that? But no worries, we can do another stream another time if one can't make it back. It's good to get these kind of things off your chest, really. And at least you people know now what's going on in our lives and why we haven't been active as much. There's not just me and One Conscience in this group. There's other team members. They've all got issues going on in their lives as well. Different types of issues. In fact, everyone I know in the group's got issues, to be honest. I try to remember that it could be worse. Yeah. Yeah, but worse. Is there such a thing? What could be possibly worse than what we've got going on and what's coming? Yeah. But while I've got still the use of the panel, what would you like me to talk about, people? I'll keep talking to give One Conscience a chance to get back. Maybe the internet will come back on or something. Creator Earth. Earth. Let's see where bot comes. We'll ask the bot. Bot, what do you think of Creator Earth? There you go. Bot knows. No, we don't follow that theory, Erin. We do pursue our own map and model. If you follow our research, you'll know, we use the Mercator map. No one is crossing the international date lines. They're fake. They flip the air and shipping data to appear to be crossing them, but they're really just crossing the map. They're not going over the date lines, because if you go over the date lines, if you went east, you will not arrive in the west, and vice versa. That's what they're hiding. The way they've done it, pizza maps And what was that noise?
It's me. I'm back.
One's back. Hello, one. Right. That was a good time.
Sorry.
I give Jax the link one, and she clicked it, but of course you need to be there to allow her to join because she was
We'll
going to
tell
come
her
and have
to
a
try
chat.
again because
Try now, Jax.
the stream's off in my channel now, but it's fine. I just won't.
Yeah, it's still running.
Oh wait, it
Don't worry.
actually says it's still streaming.
Yeah, we're still streaming into mine.
Oh, it's still streaming into mine too.
Oh, excellent.
Somehow it picked back up. Okay.
I was just giving Erin some information, on our map and model. We have proved over the last 6 years now what the correct world map.
Yes, on to more pleasant topics.
Yeah. Well, he was asking about Creator Earth, so we don't follow that theory because it is just a theory and there's no proof that we live in a crater or anything.
Right.
So our good. Here we go. Jax is going to join.
Okay.
Welcome back, one.
Thank you. I don't know what happened. Like the whole internet all around here went out. Nobody's Wi-Fi was showing up.
Weird. Bad timing, that, wasn't it? Yeah.
I don't know. Right when we were talking about the thing.
The thing did it. The thing. But Jax is going to join us. Says she's going to close the door in case she wakes her daughter up.
Awesome.
Jax has also got, stuff going on in her life. In fact, every team member has got something going on similar in their lives. So, why not get it all in the open now? And we'll move on to other topics, but we'll keep that for a research night, the next one.
Yeah. Oh, so I missed a lot, it seems.
Mm-hmm. We continued on.
Now I have to put my Wi-Fi back on. I turned it off. That was the only way I could even message you was that I turned off my Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're all back up now. Now they're popping up. We use Xfinity, and I'm assuming that something happened with Xfinity. I heard something.
Administration told them to switch it off.
I think.
Too much information.
Hey, Baron.
Hello, Baron. Aha, Beatty. You're muted, mate. You'll realise in a minute.
Is that better?
100% better. There you go. How's it going, mate?
Is that better?
100% better. There you go. Sorted. How's it going, mate?
No, I'm just trying to mute on my phone.
Oh, yeah. Better mute that watch page, Baron.
No, I'm just trying to mute on my phone.
Oh, yeah. Better mute that watch page, Baron.
Okay,
There you
that's
go.
better.
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Ricky mistake, yeah. Watch page not muted.
How are you, mate?
I'm all right, actually. I'm going to have to get some headphones, though, because I can't hear a thing. And stomp around the house, look for some headphones. I thought Jax was going to join, and I just pressed the button.
She's just shutting doors so she doesn't wake her daughter up. So yeah, might as well, get all the real life stuff out on stream, eh?
Yeah, it's good. People need to know.
Anything you want to add? Anything you want to add, Baron, that's taking place in your life or your friends' lives or anything?
Yeah, it's much of the same, you know. Mum-in-law has been in hospital for a while now, but she's got my missus and her sister round the clock, 24/7, sleeping next to the bed. So, you know, that's a bit.
Breaking up there, mate. But yeah, well done on the bedside vigilance. Got to remain vigilant, haven't we? Hello, Jax.
Hello.
Peekaboo.
Hi, yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. You have to mute your watch page though, because we can hear the echo.
Yeah, I've just muted it. Is that better?
No, still an echo.
Oh, hang on, have I got it? I might have it on twice.
If you're still watching my channel, just mute my channel.
Yeah, I've muted it.
You haven't got one's channel on as well, have you? Because we are streaming into 2 channels.
Is that better?
Nope, still echo.
I'm not sure what this is.
That's okay now, Jax.
Is it?
Yeah, no echo now. There you go.
Oh,
I can hear everyone too now.
Hey, you can hear you. You sound louder, Baron, now. You've got a booster of Jax.
Cheers, Jax.
oh, I wonder what happened there. That was weird.
Welcome on the panel, people.
Thank you.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Afternoon, evenings.
Thanks for both of you for sharing what's going on in your lives. I know all of us just seem to be going through these sort of really dramatic, difficult things at the moment, and meeting obstacles with the health service along the way that, I don't know, they just do seem to be by design.
They do.
Mm.
There's too much power given to people that haven't received the education
Yeah,
to be able to make the choices for people.
completely agree. Yeah.
Oh, and like I was trying to say before I got completely wiped out on internet, do they call you guys as doctors like doctor family practices? Or do they just say like doctor?
Yeah, I think we have more practices now.
So,
Family
you know,
practitioners.
they didn't
general
have to.
practitioner.
So they didn't used to be called that. Do you
No.
guys remember that?
Yes,
Well, the practitioners,
surgeries.
So when they put that name on to these doctors' offices, they're pretty much just saying, "Hey, we're just practicing on you."
Yeah, doctors'
You
practice. The
know?
one here is Westbury Doctors' Practice, and there's a whole
Yeah.
bunch of them in there, and you're assigned one.
Yeah, and when I was a child, we didn't have that. We had, here's your doctor's office. He is a doctor, and this is his office.
You had a
And-
doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't have these doctor family practices where they had 6, 7, 8 doctors in this building, and you're assigned one, and they're all practicing. Like, it's like they don't have a fucking clue what they're doing anymore, and we're their little test dummies.
Well, the real doctors are long gone. I know that because
Yeah.
when I was younger, there were really good doctors around then.
There
They
were.
used to come out and see you properly.
Now they just Google things and say, "We'll try you with this."
Yeah, Baron said they've
no,
got
they
their
won't.
own special doctors Google.
Yeah, my mum was a doctor for 40 years.
She was a
had
good one though, wasn't she? She was one of the good guys.
She was. She used to tell us that, these people are coming in. She told me what placebos were.
Yeah.
And these are all the different brands of placebos that you can get. They look and they say that they're real medicines, but it's just sugar. And most of it was that. So people have to do their research and find out. But back in the 70s and 80s, the doctors would make the people better by telling them what to do. And they went out to see people, because if you're ill, you shouldn't be going out if you're ill, isn't it? So people need to be visited. But if you want some advice and you want this and that, you went to the doctor's surgery. Other people were oh, I can't come to the doctor because I'm ill. Well, that's why you need to go to the doctor. So there were, her bosses, I think it was called the FPC, they did the deciding on who gets priority and paid doctors accordingly. £5 a patient, £10 if they'd never used the services, a couple of quid if they were always there. So the idea is that, you need to stop people either coming in or need more people to take the recommended medicines or what have you. Then you had the whole system of the medical reps who represent all the companies with all the brands, and they're all beta test stuff and recall stuff as regular as they can write prescriptions for the next thing. So she gave up because it was too much of being a business person and a drug pusher.
Well done, Baronsman.
Yeah. And she's still natural. I mean, they eat like a handful of nuts. My dad's 93, too, and my mum's 79, 80. And they do take medicines that they've taken for years and years. But it's thanks to my mum titrating, or whatever it's called, looking at the actual medicines and what they do and what's needed and what's not, and filtering out anything and everything, and just doing only what's absolutely necessary. Because there is research and medicine and this and that goes on to help people, but it's just misused and sold, and it's mishandled. It's just like the same way we're using the technology now to have this conversation. It's good that we're using it in a good way, but it's mostly misused.
Mm.
And it's a drug, it's an addiction, and people are on the tablets and phones and tellies and YouTubes and everything. They can't get off of it. But me and you, we know each other because of these things.
Yeah.
Right? And you've shared information because of this technology.
Yeah.
But the majority is just misused. And that's the same as the health system and monetary system and all of them.
Yeah, it just amazes me why they're so fascinated with us. It's like they want to know everything about us all the time, don't they? I've got my picture up now.
They just want rid of us. I think that's blatantly obvious now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like evolution, isn't it? They don't need you anymore, so they want to get rid and something else to take over.
Yeah.
That's right. Make our bodies not work the way they should with all these chemicals. If we're like machines and you put the wrong stuff in us, we're not going to work properly.
Yeah.
All these medicines do that to us. They mess up all of our chemicals, our chemistry in our brains and our bodies, make you sicker. You have to have a medicine to get rid of the side effects of this medicine, and sometimes the side effects are worse than what you were just afflicted with to begin with.
Yeah,
if you have a headache, just have a freaking headache. You don't have to take 50 pills for it.
I'm constantly hearing about various medicines that get people stop, being recommended to stop a particular medicine for this reason, that reason. And one of them is called omeprazole, I think. I don't know if I say the brand, but that's what it is. And that's supposed to line your stomach before you take loads of tablets, because your stomach lining can't take it. So this little thing lines your stomach. That's the thing that's started to cause people ulcers.
Good God.
Just compounds it one thing after another, doesn't it?
Causes ulcers.
Hey, we probably should change the topic anyway from that.
True.
Well, on the subject, because I've been so inspired by APMs looking into natural cures, I bought Culpeper's medicinal herbal book, and it's from the 1600s. And I've moved into this house December last year, and this year I just let everything grow in the garden. and a lot of the stuff turned out to be medicinal. And I've got Solomon's seal. So I'd seen this thing and I identified it as Solomon's seal. It looks like huge lily of the valley. And in the autumn, when it dies back, you dig up its roots and it produces rhizomes, which are the shape of bones. And it's good for bones. That's its main. It said it's like brilliant for bones, and it even looks like little bones. And it did as well. I dug up some. And I did put it on film. I'm going to try and get something together. I was going to show the whole process, but me being me and the way things are at the moment, it's difficult to focus, isn't it? So I dug them up and then I looked up online. It's quite difficult to find out how to get things together. But I had to just wash it, get all the dirt off. And I found some quite big ones too. Scrape most of the thing off and then grate it and then cover it in alcohol for 2 weeks and then strain it. And now I've got the alcohol and I just take a few drops every day. And I've started that because I've been suffering from this awful pain in my legs for about 6 months now. And I think it's a lot to do with posture, but I am 68, and I've had 5 children and I'm quite a large person, so it could be something to do with my hip. But I do know that I can improve this by some natural things. I'm also taking wormwood as well. I got it for the animals, but I'm taking it as well. Parasites. It's really bitter.
I'll shift them on it.
I gave it to my little cat and she attacked me. I ended up with this massive, great big scratch on my hand. Hated it. It was just like, get that away.
Well, that's what we're all about, really, isn't it? We have looked into various foods and,
yeah,
things like that over the years.
But food, I can't eat very much at all at the moment. If you buy vegetables, they go off really quickly. Broccoli's off in the fridge for a couple of days. But I had my own red peppers tonight. So
Nice.
Waited a long time for them to go red. A long time.
I think it's great that you actually escaped from London, Jax.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Going away for a week, going away to Cornwall for a week and coming back made it feel more like home now.
Yeah.
It was nice to get back. It was good to go away, but it had that nice, all the animals were pleased to see me and it just felt like coming home. And when I think of London now and how bad it was getting and the neighbours and the oppression. I mean, I can just wander out there naked if I want to and have done, but less of that. But there are a lot of drones and things like that around here. You do get drones, helicopters, people flying about because they jump off the plane, So not recommended. I might look good from a height though. I like soft focus.
Worst Jack.
I think people would be surprised how many of our team members have, moved from a city to somewhere nicer.
We've all been moving about, haven't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone's moving and looking out for themselves.
Moving.
Getting a garden and growing your own. And, this is what it's about, isn't it?
Growing, yeah. Do more next year. I learned some lessons this year, but my spuds did all right.
Yeah, look good then.
Yeah, I'm going to dig up my front lawn. I'm determined to do it. And it's just sitting there, just sitting there, just growing or being glared at by neighbours because I'm just growing it.
I'm sure you'll put it to good use.
Yeah, well, it does get a lot of sun in the summer, so I can veg it up, and I will veg it up. So yeah, my little family drama at the moment. My mum and dad both developed rapid onset dementia back in May, and I wasn't sort of informed about it in the family. I only found out by chance, really, when I phoned up. I kept phoning up, but they weren't answering the phone. And then I phoned up and got my mum, and she just came out with these bizarre stories and So I thought, oh my God, what's going on with Mum? So I phoned up, and I'd seen my mum and dad in April, and my mum had slight sort of like memory problems, and but my dad was sound. Because at the time I said to my sister, my brother, I said, I can see Dad going on for ages. I said, and Mum being the one we're going to have to keep an eye on. So after this conversation with my mum on the phone, I phoned my brother, and my brother's like us, he's anti the thing and everything. And he said, I said, what the hell's going on? What's wrong with Mum? And he went, Dad's worse. I said, Dad? And he said, yeah, ever since number 5, just before his birthday. And then I realised that this had been going on for quite a while, for about a good month, and they'd all been starting to rally together, and they put up this family chat, and I went down, and obviously things were deteriorating fast. And my brother reassured me everybody was pulling their weight, and according to this family chat, everything was fine. There were lots of thumbs up and people saying, went round, give Dad a bit of dinner, blah, blah, weighed Mum today, blah, blah, all this thumbs up, well done. And then it transpires that rather than this sort of cooperative that I've been witnessing, and sort of giving my support, and I'll be down and wish I could help more and all this sort of thing, because I'm miles away. I've got another sister in Australia who can't help, and she's like really like racked with guilt. And everybody else, all these sisters-in-laws and everything are all mucking in. There was no cooperative going on. My brothers had taken control of my dad's money, had taken power of attorney, and there was this huge like war going on between them with this rift, and then people withdrew their help, and just been watching this disaster folding on in front of me for the last God knows how long. Anyway, Mum and Dad are now in respite. They've been there a week, and now Dad's on end of life of care. He just went downhill overnight yesterday. It's just gone from bad to worse. It's like watching a bad movie unfold in front of me. And there's been lots of doctors involved. No doctors have prescribed anything. They haven't had a diagnosis. So a whole pile of medicines wasn't even signed off that they should have received. It's been an absolute farce. And of course, they've got to pay for it all themselves, because my dad's been sitting like a leprechaun on a pot of gold all these years, not giving us anything, just hoarding it all. But yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's just a bloody nightmare, really. And the thing is, at the beginning of the thing, like many of us here, I became suddenly visionary and saw the whole future in front of me. Spoke to all my family and had to accept that I wasn't going to be able to see my mum and dad for quite a while, because my sister, her daughter, my 2 sister-in-laws, and various members of their family, daughters, and are all working for the NHS. So, and they all live like on the doorstep of my mum and dad. So it was like an enclave. You can imagine, boxes of tests and masks, everything all over the place.
Real, huh?
So I was completely excluded when they did start to get ill. And it's as if, and I'm the oldest child. And it's been quite a difficult thing to carry, really.
Well, shouldn't you have power of attorney, Jax, if you're the
My
elder?
dad wanted the sons to have power of attorney. He was very misogynistic. Women had their place. I was a huge disappointment.
Oh,
I was way too much of a independent soul. Yeah, I was the black sheep and the rebel, and yeah. So it's been very difficult, because the people who ended up looking after my dad before he went into respite were the very children who he neglected growing up, as adults, he sort of mellowed a lot, but as a dad, he wasn't the best, you know? So everybody's trying to deal with all this sort of conflict around about duty and guilt, and oh dear me, it's been really messy.
See this fast onset of dementia, Jax. You got any
I've
more
done-
information on that?
I've done some, I've been doing a little bit of research on this rise in dementia that I'm seeing. There's care homes going up everywhere around here. All these advertisements for carers. All the carers in this care home where my mum and dad are right now are either Asian or Polish. There's very little English spoken. There's not many medical staff around, very basic care. This is what I'm hearing from my sister. I'm going on Saturday. It's and there's a lot of there is a huge rise in dementia. They're expecting a ridiculous figure by 2030. A big research project done, funded by Bill and Melinda Gates, no less.
I fancy that, huh?
So yeah, I think it's years and years of pharmaceuticals and the last 2 years that have finished them off, really. Yeah. Just keeping in contact with them over the last 2 years. They were, and when I went to see them, they didn't have the same interest. Like my dad wasn't as interested in his crosswords. He was like, I don't know. I mean, he's 92. Mum's 88, but my mum seems to be enjoying herself in the care home. She's sort of settled and ladying it a bit, you know, enjoying the attention. So I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go. It's just been a bit of a, nightmare.
Yeah.
With these awful brothers of mine, one of whom is now on the verge of nervous breakdown, while the other one, just his whole focus is on the money. That's his entire focus, really. But there's other stuff that I don't really want to talk about, the more nefarious, suspicious things. Yeah, it's weird. But I'm seeing a pair of very sort of still quite sprightly elderly people in April to seeing what's there now. My dad doesn't recognise any of us. None of us anymore, not even my mum. He's forgotten how to swallow. He's just dribbling. He's in nappies. That's since May. And he was all right in April. He was moaning at the telly, as usual. And the elephant in the room is never talked about,
The thing.
Yeah, exactly. Did you say he had 5? Did you say he had 5?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, my sister apparently took them up for 5, for the 5th. Practice nurse who just retired. She came out of retirement to do the thing.
Jesus.
Yeah, they're really on it. It's crazy.
It's mental how people just forget, from one month to the next.
Mm.
And, the moment you try and tell someone that.
I've had to give up, but it's very difficult.
I gave up probably a year and a half ago, I think now.
Yeah, it's like we're witnesses, aren't we?
We are.
We're witnesses to the end times, and you just got to witness and stand on that middle pillar, and it's a bloody nightmare.
This is what you call a reset event.
Yeah. Nobody comes out unscathed.
Luca has a question, FPV, for you.
Okay, hold on. Let's have a look. Where's he at? What's the red line out to the east Antarctica? Red line. Oh, it's part of the landmass, Luca. You know, that's where they've chopped the map, basically. If you follow the line straight up, you can see where it kind of matches where the map ends on the right-hand side. That's where they cut the map. Or it could just be in, you know, an area by one of us, but that's roughly where they've chopped the map to hide east and west. Then they wrap what you can see there on the ball to make a globe. Google Earth shows you what it makes, but it takes algorithms to wrap all that around a ball and distorts hell out of it. Unwrapped, it looks like what you're looking at there. Line stretching out. I don't know if the line's stretching out. It should be there or not. It could be an error on our behalf, and I'd have to check that.
What are you talking about? The logo?
Yeah, if you look at the map and the grid on the screen there, on the Antarctica on the right-hand side of it is like a red line sticks out a bit further than the rest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll double check that sometime, Luca. But yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. We can't go and have a look at it and inspect it or measure it. But yeah, you know, the map ends there only because that's where they cut it. Thanks for popping in, VN. Take care, mate.
Laters, VN.
So yeah, Jack, sorry to hear about your bad news as well.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sorry about that.
the irony is, in about 2018, when I went down to see my sister, she was saying, oh, you know, we're going to have to all get together as a family at some point and talk about mum and dad. And I said, well, she said they're going to have to go into a home at some point. And this was 2008. I think it was 2018. Because every time she lives on Portland, and every time I went, I used to go to Portland and have a walk about, you know, recharge my batteries. And I said, oh no, I said, when it comes to that, I'm going to move in with them. And I had every intention of doing that. That was going to be my plan, to do what I did with this swap, but go to Weymouth. But the thing came, the imprisonment came. And then in September last year, I found out that my daughter was pregnant with a problematic pregnancy. And so I moved here to be close to her and support her, you know. And then all this blew up. So it was like completely different game plan. And apparently my brother had every intention of giving up his job temporarily and going in to give them the care. But nobody had been going in at night. And I was really concerned about that. I said, how are they at night? And my sister was saying, oh, they're fine. You know, they're okay when we're going in the morning. And then they started to find my dad like on the floor in the front room with like just his shirt on and weird stuff put all around the house. And so my sister stayed in one night and my brother stayed in the second night. And my sister said it was unbelievable. It was the worst night of her life. And my brother on the spot said, I will not be able to look after them. And within 24 hours, they were in the respite. They said my dad was shouting and screaming and bawling, and there was aggression. And anyway, they've put them in separate rooms as well. It all sounds a bit draconian there. Two old people who are at the end of their lives. 1 minute they're, you know, with their feet up watching the telly, and then 3 months, 4 months later, they're in like prison, really, waiting to die. With two of their children squabbling over money. It's mad.
This research you said you've been looking into, then are you going to make a video about that?
What's that, the dementia?
Yeah.
I would love to see that one.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look at it, because this care home thing is quite alarming. It's everywhere. Oh, I've been driving around the country a little bit. We went to Glastonbury the other day, and Salisbury, and here and there, and Cornwall, and all outside, all everywhere. It's like new care home going up, carers wanted, and it's going to be all these baby boomer people who've got animals and their own pets and all this stuff going on, who can't look after these Alzheimer dementia patients, like elderly parents are going to have, because it looks like it's just going to be the norm, and everybody's accepting it. They call it the think fog.
I have a question. So, do you think the preservatives and the crap they put in our food have anything to do with dementia?
Yeah, but the thing sped it up.
Yeah, I think the thing is the catalyst, the just the thing that does the job, the final job.
Okay.
Reminds me of that 1600 reset, the Black Death.
Yeah.
It came and went, didn't it?
Mm. Yeah.
EW has a question.
Paris.
I don't know anything about Paris.
Well, any
Me neither.
sacred geometry there, just refer to our research to understand what its meaning is. Because they all like to depict this sacred geometry everywhere, like they own it. They don't want you to know about it, but our ancestors were well aware of it because they depicted it everywhere. So they've stole all that information.
I know there's a lot of the Louvre. They got because they got that pyramid, and then if you go in the pyramid, there's another pyramid upside down inside the pyramid or something.
Yeah,
Our research decodes all that. So
Yeah,
if it really shows me a picture of what you're looking at, and we'll tell you what it represents.
there's always queues at those places, and
What we've actually built over the last 6 years is the template to decode all this. That's what we've been doing. We know the template now. We created our own template of how we decode all this, and it works perfect.
yeah, I've got loads of ideas for videos. I've got so many.
I think you should do a few lives as well, Jax.
You what?
I think you should do a few lives, like what you're doing now.
Yeah, I'd like to do lives. I have thought about it.
No more thinking now.
I do a lot of thinking, Baron. It's my problem. I live in my head. Bloody Gemini. It's a nightmare.
A lot of shit, but everyone's got to share
I'm a
things.
nightmare. So what are we going to do today? Yeah.
Yeah, any museums, you're going to look at them in a different light. Once you've been through our research, you will really see what it actually represents. You're not just looking at ornaments anymore. You're looking at what it represents. That's the important thing, what it actually represents. And it all relates to the Creator's glory and how it works. It's not satanic, as some people are calling it. It is the way of the world. It's how it works. And that's the sacred geometry. It belongs to it.
It's all about how it's used, isn't it? It's like everything. It could be, it's like this Janus thing. I mean, Janus is just the two-facedness of it all. They tell us one thing and then they do another with everything. Everything they do. They tell us they're doing it for our good and they're doing it for our bad. Everything is the other way around.
Yeah.
It's like the right, giving us with the right hand, while with the left hand, they're just wiping everything out. It's just the weirdest inversion.
They're not actually telling us, they're signaling each other.
Yeah.
They run all the nations now, so they're signaling the nations what their plans are. Really, that's what they're really doing.
It's just wearying. It's wears you out when you see it so clearly. I mean, I haven't seen any television for a long time. And then when we went to Cornwall, there was no internet, but they had telly with like the basic channels, and it was awful. I was just in a sort of shock seeing how bad it was. The basic channels were just 80s repeats of the really like real crap, like Heartbeat, you know, just rubbish. And I saw Ancient Aliens there. I thought, oh, that'll do. A bit of Ancient Aliens will do. But every 5 minutes, it was like 5 minutes of adverts, and it was like these inane adverts. The BBC is so damn down. I can't watch it. It's just they talk. It's like watching. They talk to you like you're 5 years old.
Yeah, they do,
With
don't they?
everything. Even if it's a serious subject, they have this bumpy, pumpy music. Like, meanwhile, Brian has been talking with Rachel in the garden. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. For fuck's sake, get on with it, you know?
Yeah.
Crap.
Like play school, isn't it?
Yeah. So I just want to get a bit of raw bloody research and trying to get on the internet, you know.
Mhm.
I said, because it was like so remote there. And it's quite good actually, because I'm going to do a video about this. You know, I did the rainbow. I saw the rainbow, and I could see that it was a local rainbow. And in the centre was this church. So on our last day, we went over and found the church, and it's near Holywell. And there's 2 Holywells in Holywell. One of them's on the golf course, and the other one is just amazing. And it's like a hidden wonder that you can only access it at low tide, and it's in the cliffs, and it's like mineral water, and all the minerals have coloured all the rocks, all these wonderful rainbow colours. This is stuff they don't tell you about this. This was just over the road from where we were staying as well. Anyway, I got back and I got on Google Earth and I found out where we were in Perranport. Then I worked out where the rainbow was, and I thought, but it was a lot closer. I could see how close it was. It was like really close. And then I saw St. Piran's Church and St. Piran's Oratory, and they're 2 ruins that are just between Holywell and where we were. When I looked at them on the map, I thought, bloody hell, this is where it's over. It's over this thing.
Yeah, so it's just a marker then on the
Yeah,
surface.
it was
Yeah.
over St. Piran's, and St. Piran is the patron saint of Cornwall. And there's this crazy story about him coming over from Ireland, and he got thrown into the sea off Ireland, but miraculously survived and came up on the beach at Perranport and built his oratory on the sands. Load of rubbish. Miles from anywhere. The Perranport barely existed. Nothing existed. So there must be a whole town or something around there under all that sand. So I'm thinking there was probably some sort of mini event all around there. Created these dunes and everything.
Yeah.
It's
That'll be the angels doing what they do.
yeah. And it's got this crazy weather there. And I got some nice video footage. You know, I'll get that together. I've got it all sort of collated, but I've got a few like that. It's just a case of getting the narration down, and it's just I get so diverted by this family stuff, you know.
Mhm.
I'm gonna mute because I have this thing I have to be at 6 o'clock, but I want you all to continue. So I'm just gonna mute, and when you guys are done, you can just hang up.
Yeah, okay, on.
Okay, well, yeah.
So it was great talking to you guys. I just had this
Yeah,
thing
it was
fixed.
really good hearing your story as well. Send
Yeah.
Brittany our love. Yeah, my love.
Love
Thank
to.
you.
Yeah.
But I will definitely talk to you guys later. Maybe we can, do our usual Sunday stream again. That would be awesome
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
week.
from that. Yeah. Mhm.
So
Yeah.
hopefully we can get that together. But
Updates on.
yeah. So I'll just mute and you guys can hang up whenever you're done. That way the thing can keep going. Okay.
Okay, one.
Okay, one.
All right. I'll talk to you guys
Bye,
later.
Wheat.
Have a good
All right.
night.
Yep. You too. Bye bye.
Bye. And a big double hug off Luca. Mhm.
Yeah, I've been seeing one's posts on Facebook, and they've been pretty shocking. At one point, I thought, oh, this is just awful. You know?
But we see the same in our back chat, don't we, of individual members?
Yeah.
Well, not the same situation.
Yeah,
Well.
we've all got, it's relative, and well, relative literally, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've all got this weird stuff going on.
Yeah. But I noticed that we ourselves do our very best to stay away from all of it.
Yeah, we rise above it. We just sort of detach. It's, I
With
don't
it-
know, it's,
And we're there to help everyone.
yeah,
And-
I keep thinking, should I be more, because one of my brothers is on the verge of a breakdown with it all, you know? But I
No.
think he's carrying some stuff as well. I think he's carrying a little bit of stuff he's not talking about. I think he knows there's been nefarious actions going on with it with the other brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's family dynamics. You never expect to have a psychopath in your family, do you?
Nope.
Yeah, but out of 7 children, I suppose the odds start to sort of go a bit.
Mm.
Yeah. Because
You
they
know
do
what?
say that the best size for human communities, I think, isn't very big. Because after a certain size, the psychopaths start to wheedle their way and take control, the power mad ones.
Mhm.
And there's is it 200? It might only be 200. There's a Netflix series which is pretty crappy but quite good at the same time, like a lot on Netflix. And about this bunch of school kids, teenagers, who were moved out of their school because of a toxic leak temporarily, and then taken back and dropped off, and the coaches bugger off, and then when they go in there, the place is completely deserted. The whole town is completely deserted of all adults. Everybody's gone, and they've just been left. And I think there's 200 of them, and nobody comes back. Eventually, they try to get out. They can't get out. It's always like some time thing. So at first, everybody goes mad, and they're eating all the food out the supermarkets, going crazy. And a few people start to take control, realize that, you know, they've got to start thinking about rationing, because it's going to, once it's gone, it's gone. You know, they're all pissed and everything. So they start to, you know, and then there's two psychopaths, and one of them starts to complain about people taking control and getting people on his side. And then another one turns up, and then one of the psychopaths kills the other psychopath. But he manages to get into control. And I think that was the end of the first series. But it's very well done. I thought that's probably how it bloody works as well. They're very clever and manipulative. So after a while, too many humans together just don't work. So we have small communities, I guess, and just breed between the communities to get your bloods mixed up.
Yeah. But
Tribes, isn't it? It's just tribal. It's a tribal thing.
yeah, I think so. I think humans were designed to just be social and be together.
Yeah.
There wasn't supposed to be any leaders or hierarchies.
No.
It was just meant to be you.
Yeah.
I think if you were born on a desert island, your first thoughts would be you'd probably want to clothe yourself and get warm, and then you'd want to eat something, and it probably wouldn't be the only other person around, because there's just another person.
God knows. Sometimes I think we bloody just some sort of weird invention that's just been stuck on here. It's just so we're such a rubbish design as well in many ways. It's like we were. I don't know. It's like. Have you ever sat and watched people for a while and how ridiculous we look walking? After a while, you think, God, we look weird. People are weird. And how we can never see our backs. We never see our backs, do we? But we're quite happy with that.
Yeah,
We never question that, do we? We never question how
my back. Pressing it
half
now.
of our house isn't used for half of the day because we just go in there to go to sleep. And
Yeah.
then when we go to sleep, we're paralyzed, which means anybody could come in our house and robbers or rapers or do what the fuck they like, but nobody says a thing about it, and we go off to all these fucking weird places that nobody ever talks about, and then get up in the morning like nothing's happened. And then the cats just sleep on the bed all day. All the space in your house for all these beds, oh, it's just really strange. I just find it's really strange. Our backs are rubbish, our eyes are rubbish, our teeth aren't all that good because of the sugar we eat. Everybody I know's got a bloody bad back.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
you could put that down to the food chain and that, really, couldn't you? And
But
the
when you
food-
look at Romans, they're always lying down, aren't they? They're always like reclining. So I don't think we're actually meant to be slouching and sitting and all this sort of weight bearing work that we do all the time. That was for the peasants. I should have been just reclining with cats. Yeah, weight bearing, having children, having children and raising children and breastfeeding children depletes your body of calcium. So many women get osteoarthritis. But there are natural cures, which is why I'm giving the Solomon seal a go,
well, this is the thing. If we were taught all of that when we were in school,
Yeah,
and actually, whatever the grandmother's tales and old wives' tales and all that, that was probably the original medicine by the so-called witches and the wizards. That was
yeah,
to help. And like you said, when the grass grows, I mean, I noticed it when the council didn't cut any of the verges or mow any of the lawns in the parks. Everything grew.
yeah,
The plant app identifier thing I had, it was all there. The
yeah,
herbs,
everything,
it was there.
everything.
You
We're
know,
doing it in the garden. It's pretty much everything.
it's literally
Roses,
the go.
every bloody thing. It tells you, it's that you can use all parts of this plant. Foxgloves, isn't it? Deadly nightshades there. Everything's there. Everything has got a use. Nothing is bad. It's how much you use and how you prepare it. And that's the art that we used to have. It was called witchcraft, and then blasted out, and then they brought in this new religion of science where everything is just chemically made in a laboratory and designed to kill us. It's like a total twist around.
That's why they call drugs, though, isn't it? Because it's got a tiny little bit of something that might be beneficial, but
Yeah,
it's got something to get you hooked on it.
that's it.
I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. I'm going to make himself a brew.
Cool.
Yeah, I still got my chamomile and honey tea here. It's a bit cold, but I'll do.
Late one for you, Jax. How are you holding out?
Huh?
It's a late one for you. How are you holding out?
Well, I've got nothing to do in the days. Not really. I'm slowly trying to get myself back into my creativity because it's been too long that it's been AWOL and it's starting to piss me off,
Yeah.
So I'm getting some projects together. But this sort of pain in my legs has been very sort of distracting for me because I can't do half of what I want to do. I want to just stride up the road. But I think a lot of it is to do with my posture. And also, can you remember I told you I got vertigo? I think I mentioned it.
Yeah.
God, it was awful. But I found out that when I had it, when I turned to my left side, made it worse. So I completely stopped sleeping on my left side, and I'm a left and right side sleeper. I mentioned this to you earlier.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
We were talking about which side is better.
Yeah,
Sleeping,
that's it. And I've been sleeping completely on my right side for a good 6 months, of totally avoiding the left side because I was so worried about getting that bloody vertigo again. Oh God, it was awful. I couldn't feed the cats. I couldn't do anything. But it sort of wore away gradually over the week. And so I thought, well, I'm just not going to lie on my left side. I don't want to trigger it again.
Do you
So I
think
thought, so I did some research, and it says, yeah, just constantly lying on the same side to sleep. It's good to sort of alternate, which is what I used to do. It's balance. It's all about bloody balance. So I started doing it, and there is an improvement. I'm starting to feel a slight improvement. So
Probably also something to do with the old middle ear. If you're on your left side or one side all the time when you're in that sleep mode, or something's going on there. Because
But the internet being the internet, you get all this conflicting information about how it's bad to sleep on your left side. And then the edicts say it's good to sleep on your left side.
Yeah, it's bollocks. It's an error, isn't it? The human body.
Yeah. I said, well, whatever's comfortable for me, I think I'll just sleep on it now. But don't sleep on your front because it just presses down on all the organs. You don't sort of think about things like that. They don't teach you this in school, do they? They say, right, sleep. What's the best position for sleep? And nutrition, when I was at school, was just carbohydrates, protein, fibre, and then they actually had to tell us to make sure we ate 5 a day or whatever it is, because people were just eating chips all the time, I think. Pies and chips and McDonald's, and sort of remind us about vegetables and fruit. That stuff when you first go in the supermarket.
Yeah, it's like constantly putting oil in your car. It's just going to overflow and just be fucking everywhere and ruin everything.
I don't know, I've been cynical for so long.
Can't help it though, Jax. I mean, look at, honestly, I think 10, 12 years ago, maybe now, changed the whole food thing, everything. And, because the doctor said that your cholesterol can't be measured, it's off the scale. You need to have tablets, okay? So sorted all that out. And then obviously one little relapse, and where did that lead to? 1 year later, stents. So, and it was only just by going back to, and I would call just normal, what people eat. They'll eat either a fast breakfast, late and too heavy, buns and rolls and this and that and the other. And lunch will be whatever's happening at work, something not cooked at home or homemade. And dinner, I mean, we'd have a family dinner, but it would be, whatever. Honestly, the COVID's time as well, this whole stay-at-home shit and the bloody order what you want and stuff.
Happened to a lot of people, the takeaway thing.
The illness now, and you think, well, everyone's been doing what you shouldn't be doing. If the thing was as dangerous as heart disease, for example, which affects 80% chance of heart failure if you have this and that, eat this. They didn't ban that, did they? They encouraged it.
Well, it was ludicrous. There were huge, great big billboards for McDonald's all over the place, and he's just living in like some crazy place. Like these, have you seen the Good Place?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. It's about this girl who gets sent to what she thinks is heaven. It's an American comedy.
Oh, right.
But it's actually not. It's actually like a place designed by an architect to torture her and a few others for eternity. But she works it out, and they keep sending her back with a memory and doing it again. They can still all work it out.
Mm.
But sometimes this place, I think, we're just in the bloody good place. This is like the good place. It's like it pretends to be an okay place, but in actual fact, it's like a form of constant bloody hell that we're in. There's no escaping it, and they sort of, I mean, I love my family. I mean, I don't like a lot of them, my brothers and sisters, but it's like this strange familial ties that we get to our families.
The thing is, though, that the family is the physical people around us.
Yeah.
I mean, I love you to bits, but the physical people around us,
Yeah,
who need us,
Mm.
and we have to be there for them, or we have to be strong enough. Like when this whole thing hit, and here's me going under the radar at everything because I'm not scanning and doing this, that, and the other to go to your house or whatever. If you don't want me there, come. No reason, just you don't seem, you're worried, you're scared, so no. So I just kept it like that. I didn't want to share anything with anyone.
No.
Immediate family. And if I influenced them, okay, good. But I'm sure that they did it for their own, whatever they thought was best.
Yeah, well, I did a little bit. I did my bit. I couldn't help myself at times, but
I don't want
I know I didn't.
The physical people around me.
Yeah.
When it came to friends, okay, friends, if they didn't see my, viewpoint that I'm not into any of this shit, then bye. And they felt the same way, I'm sure. Oh, you're not taking this thing seriously. Okay. Ooh, okay. Don't think you're doing the right thing, mate. You need to watch the TV and you need to look at the fucking stats and you need to do this and that and the other. Bullshit. I need to look at the world, the physical world around me and what's going on. And I noticed that, as usual, always tell you the thing in the first place. Right in the beginning, they tell you the actual thing, what you need to do. Yeah, they said go out, get exercise, stay fit, stay healthy.
Yeah, yeah.
The opposite. Anyone that stayed fit and healthy seems to be okay now and didn't do any guidelines.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I didn't. Because you know what I do for a living. There's no way I can do that from home, is there?
No, I don't. Hardly.
And in fact, the moment everyone started working from home and realizing that we're all at home at the same time having to work, everyone was going crazy wanting a home office bill, this converted to that, this extension, that. What?
Yeah.
Downs. No, it doesn't count for you because key worker in it. Infrastructure didn't miss a beat in London, really.
I know. Didn't stop, did it?
Easy, didn't it?
Well, when I went up into Vauxhall after the prison sentence, I couldn't believe it. It was transformed. Battersea Power Station looked like it had moved because all of a sudden it had been exposed and was suddenly on the embankment. But my God, I've been Mandela. There was this big paintball thing going on. There was all this complex. It was like this weird stuff. And then up by, as you went through in the bus, the American Embassy with all these buildings going up with Chinese bloody names on and military buildings for military staff and a new tube station. I thought, bloody hell.
A friend of mine and in construction. And it's like tiny little cog in a massive company.
Somebody must have made it. The people were fucking raking the money in, man, raking it in all through that.
They literally stopped for a week for the prison thing and then back to it. And actually, all the permissions that weren't given, because how can you do that in London because of the traffic and this and that? Well, it's go ahead time now. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Every single planning permission granted, just everything granted.
Well, they've got all sorts of stuff now on. Boris Johnson put through this thing quite early on, that planning permission to change old shops, etc., into dwellings would just go through really quickly now. Usually they take like weeks and weeks and weeks. All this and no, straight through.
Well,
and this new buy to rent scheme where you can buy the house. You buy the house, buy a crappy old house, pay the builders to do it, rent it out.
Well, I tell you what, this thing happened in March, prison sentence, yeah?
Yeah.
In February, I went to an auction expecting to pay about 17 grand for a bit of land between two houses. It went for 72 grand. And me and my mate were like, what's going on? What's going on that we don't, what? And what happened? A month later, the thing happened and everything went, lockdown. The prices went ballistic.
Yeah.
So how do people know beforehand? The auctions were just going mental.
Well, yeah, it's like that theatre with all this Liz Truss having this budget and then sacking the guy, and then Jeremy Hunt coming in and ripping up the
Honestly,
budget
I
and
stopped.
saying, right, we're not going to pay the energy for a year. We're only going to do it for 6 months till April. So he did that a couple of days ago. So how come on the 9th of October, I actually got a letter from my electric provider saying they're going to pay my £66 a month off my bill for me till April. They knew already. It's just a joke, the whole thing. It's just it's a script. They're just
Well,
actors and actresses and playing their part. She was only meant to be here for a short time and create a bit of chaos to distract us from whatever else they're up to.
well, honestly, if you look at things like we know it is that the UK and every other place is a corporation or some sort of business at work, we have to look at it like that. This is a business going on. Yeah, it looks bad what they're doing, but from a business point of view, it's really good business.
Oh no, everything that they're doing
Everything
is
is
from a
shaped
business standpoint.
business point is
Yeah, makes if you're looking at it from men, because you have to. What they do is they don't see us as people.
Oh,
They just see us as a commodity. They might even give us a name. I remember years ago, I knew this woman, and she was an optician, and she was quite a cold, sort of aloof character. And she was talking to me about her work as an optician, and I said, "How was work today?" And she said, "Oh, I had 15 bodies in."
bodies.
Bodies. Yeah, she called clients bodies. I'll never forget. I thought, bloody hell, what did she do? Kill them? Fuck. I'm going to her for an eye test.
God, 15 sets of corneas.
Yeah, 15 bodies. But yeah, there's there was a sort of surgical precision to her. Like surgeons can be very unempathic and compassionate and no compassion about them because they don't look on us as people, human beings. They just see us as the human body.
Speaking of body, I need to go to the dentist, but I'm worried I'm going to be offered palliative care.
My teeth are terrible. I think they've died. I think they're
Yeah.
just waiting to fall out what I've got left. Can't get a dentist here. I've been on the waiting list since I moved here.
I don't like going to the dentist since I think 30 years ago.
I've been phobic since about the dentist since a child.
I've just been,
Awful, really bad. Yeah.
I think a childhood filling's fallen out or something.
Oh, it's just awful. When I was a teenager, young teenager, moved up to secondary school. Every year, I think it was must have been once a year. It felt bloody earlier than that. We'd be given this form and it had the school dentist is coming to visit. If you would like your child to receive school dental care, please send this form back to the school. So then your parents would fill in this form, you take it back, and then you'd sit in fear waiting for the bloody school dentist to call you and go into this caravan in the playground. And all these horror stories came out of there about being drilled through the gums and the lips and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I've got a memory of that.
Like a horrible cream-coloured caravan in the playground.
Friction burns on your lip.
Yeah, every time the door would knock, and then small child will come in with a list and say, and then they'd give a note to the teacher, and the teacher would say, rather than read a list of name out for the school fucking dentist, and if your name was on it, I'd say, oh my God, this is it. Because dental care in our family was unknown.
It's like Boston, isn't it? Bloody.
I'm never bothered about our teeth. I can remember going to school and they were talking about cleaning teeth, and I didn't know what the bloody hell it was. And I went back and said, Mum, can I have a toothbrush? Can you get me a toothbrush? You know, for God's sake. My mum was sort of brought up a bit wild in Kent, I think. I know she called it a farm, but it was more like a farmstead. I think she ran wild as a child. But yeah. So when we did eventually go to the dentist, we all needed bloody fillings. And it was gas. They used to give you gas and send you to sleep. You know?
Hold still while I gas you.
Can you remember that? Did you remember that FPV? They used to give you
Yeah.
gas to take your teeth out.
Yeah, awful, wasn't it?
Yeah. I feel sick for the rest of the day. I can't stand the smell of rubber now. And why I'm phobic about masks, because I am.
Yeah, it's got worse, isn't it? Everything's going worse, not better.
Yeah.
We've had our glory day, I think, our golden age.
Yeah, I think we had a Goldilocks period.
Wasn't actually golden, was it? It was
It was shit, but it was.
copper and tin.
I'm talking about the 60s and the 70s.
We'll talk about the 70s and 80s, unfortunately.
At least I got to see the 70s.
Seen some changes, haven't we?
God, we used to moan then about our lack of freedoms. There weren't even seatbelts. We used to cram so many people in a car.
You know something? We've all got a little project or hobbies that we do. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Which means the more wide awake kind of thing you get and detach yourself from all the shit, we get into the creative side of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's an outlet. It's really important, I think.
Yeah.
Before all the tellies and radios and all the distractions, and now the modern distractions, the tablets and all the other things, the channels rather. We used to do things.
We did.
And
Lots
that's
of things.
Yeah, we've all had our bits of things we do.
It just came to us naturally. We didn't need anyone to tell us how to do anything either. Like these 5-minute hacks, and this is the best way to do this, and this is the best way to do that. And it's constant, like the TikTok. Can't stand that thing now. Oh my God. All this useful information that you'll never be able to do anything with.
Hello.
Soak your time up with absorbing useful information that you'll never be able to do anything with. Vicious circle, mate.
Distractions, isn't it? It's all distraction.
Yeah. Bit like the thing made in China.
Yeah. Yeah, I like my hobbies, I've got a few hobbies I do outside of this. Some of them.
Love hobbies.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get my mojo back into. So I've got so many half-finished projects. I want to finish my bloody great big Ganesh for a start. But I'm quite good at knitting, so I've got this really, really sort of funky wool to make my daughter's baby a hooded top. Because I've been thinking about making some money somehow. And I think those big chunky cardies would sell.
Oh, yeah.
People like them, chunky jumpers, and they're quite easy to knit, and you can sell them for quite expensive as well.
Etsy.
Yeah. Oh God, Etsy knits. I'll keep away from Etsy.
That's what you got to do, isn't it? You got to find your niches that you're good at.
Yeah, it's finding a niche, because I think that it's about time leg warmers trended again, because I think the leg warmers are great. They need to be trending again soon.
Oh, what is trending again is baggy clothes. So all of us are back in fashion.
Oh, well, those big, loose, baggy cardigans, they're almost like ponchos. That they're so big and baggy, really, with sort of I don't know if you've seen The Magicians.
No.
No, it's a series. Well, there's a guy on there and he wears these sort of like layered clothes, almost medieval looking, with these long cardigans over the top. So yeah, quite trendy long cardigans. I've seen a few people in them, so I thought, yeah, I've knitted them before and I can do all the fancy stitches.
Ooh, get some nice sacred geometry in there, Jax.
I know, in the Fair Isle. Yeah, Fair Isle.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a nice thing to do, wouldn't it?
it would.
Mm,
Be popular, that.
yeah.
Even the globalists would buy them off you.
Yeah, it reminded me of Emerald Ryder in the chat the other morning. Oh God, he was so funny.
He cracked me up.
Oh, he was so funny. It was so funny. Because I love Simon to bits, but he doesn't shut up, does he? I mean, that guy has got Mercury in his chart. I can talk.
I think Emerald thought,
Simon.
hang on here, why am I not
Simon,
stopping?
Simon was telling Emerald to shut up, and Emerald just said, "You shut up, you fucking bastard." Telling me to shut up.
Yeah.
You shut up.
Because that just reminds me of Emerald from the old days, and the old
Oh, he was so funny. He was so funny.
God, real trooper that guy is.
Simon was on one, and Emerald just pings into the chat playing shamanic music.
Yeah.
So funny.
We did play his tune, innit? Which is one note.
I'm bloody envious of him because he's rediscovering his roots, his proper bloody roots. I don't know what mine are. Mine could be any fucking thing.
He is, man. He's living the life.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, he's got Nordic roots and all that sort of thing. And I don't know. And I'm not going to have one of those DNA tests unless I send it in under somebody else's name, because I know they're all looking for me. It's just me they're looking for. They're like, we found her. Everything.
You
It's like chosen one.
Every time we see a weird cloud formation, it's really them just getting us.
It is. I know.
It's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you got to be careful what you say. They've changed the Mental Health Act actually, or something. Anybody can lock you up if you say anything that might be misconstrued as being bad.
yeah, it's. Oh, this is the thing. Fear mongering about everything. I'm just so glad that I switched my radio off, I think, in 2003.
Yeah.
And off in 2011. And I believe internet kind of around about the FE time, and only for specific things.
Yeah, yeah.
See that there was going to be a overload of sleep people, that were just going to go on to latch onto the main following of everything, every little. I've got. I noticed the neighbours are a bit more awake since the COVID. Some of them, anyway, but they're all getting a constant barrage of forwards of things that they've videos and this, that, and the other. It's non-stop. Nothing practical. So again, it's like another one of these platforms to keep you hooked. Or like FPV finds with his infos being misrepresented everywhere.
Yeah.
Being half said.
Half truths everywhere, isn't there?
Half truths, and just keep people locked in for another episode of this and another episode of that. Bullshit. I find more empowerment in actually doing things.
Yeah, so do I.
Or do some things that you said.
That's the good thing, isn't it? We never stop learning. Doesn't matter what age you get to, you never stop learning.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've been looking at bioluminescence and somnoluminescence.
Somnoluminescence.
Yeah. Like star in the jar stuff.
Progression, fusion, expansion.
I'm just fascinated with the bloody stars. I have been for a long time.
Do love the stars.
waiting for my wings to go and to be taken up like Enoch and shown everything, the fallen angels, and I'll come back and write it in code. Be made into a female Metatron. Become an angel myself.
Is that like a Fematron then?
Yeah, Fematron. But I lent Holly the Book of Enoch. She texted me at 1 o'clock in the morning, going on about the Book of Enoch. She said, "Mum, I don't know why I'm watching this, but I can't stop watching it. It's the Book of Enoch." I said, "Oh, God's sake!" She's waking up. You know what it's like when you start finding stuff out. I said, "I've got the Book of Enoch. I'll bring it over tomorrow when I see you."
Some lovely information there, isn't there? Some
Yeah,
lovely descriptions.
looking at everything. She was reading a bit about Noah and his eyes lighting up the room.
Yeah, that's not a human being we're looking at there, is it?
No, no. Mm,
The room. This is a big room we live in.
yeah.
That's the thing with religion, you know, it puts it down into the wrong context.
Religion is just do this, do that, you'll be fine.
Yeah. And the personifications of it all. That's what it's really about. That's how you hide it. You personify the technology and then it's hidden.
I craftily avoided religion. When I went to church with my grandparents when I was a little girl on a Sunday and absolutely hated it. It was boring. It was freezing cold. It was just awful. It was just horrible, depressing, awful music, terrible singing. And my granddad, I think my granddad was an atheist because he seldom went. And his quote was, "There's only 3 times to go to church in a lifetime, and I've done 2 of them." So, yeah, that was my granddad. And then my mum and dad were never, it was like you'd say prayers when you went to sleep at night, and then that sort of dwindled away when you got a bit older. But no, nothing. But we had, me and my sister had this sort of phase of going to church when we were 12 and ended up getting confirmed. But mostly it was to take the piss out of the vicar because we were young teenagers and it was just a huge, and we ended up being confirmed. It was bizarre.
I've never heard that term. What's confirmed?
I don't know. I just
Yeah,
went along with it. They dressed you up in a
yeah.
white dress and you say some things from the Bible and you walk a lot around and you're blessed by somebody and you're sort of some sort of maiden of the church. I don't know. I'm going to need to look it up because I am it. I'm it.
I concur, in fact.
So I don't know. I think it's sort of a type of baptism.
Yeah, I remember the term. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, it was like a thing back then. It was like the late 60s. Confirmation dresses. I had confirmation. I could dress. My mum made a dress. Pretty weird. And I also tried to be a Sunday school teacher.
Sounds cultish, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was weird. I think he was quite an innovative vicar, and he'd introduced these confirmation classes, which we joined. Because I'll tell you what was on television at the time, all gas and gaiters. And he reminded us of Derek Nimmo. So we were just taking a piss, really, and just going there for a laugh and ended up getting confirmed. And then I ended up being a Sunday school teacher, but I just immediately hated it. I was only about 14 or 15. I was always doing stuff, always full of ideas as a girl, you know, instigating stupidity. I actually convinced our youth club leader when I was 15 to take us to Hyde Park to a free festival because it was just before my birthday. And he did. Bus full of us up to this free Hyde Park festival. Blind Faith were playing. And it was just before my birthday. And one of the guys took acid. And there was a magazine around called Viz, and we all came back with Viz magazine. Do you remember Viz magazine, FPV?
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that? I loved Viz.
Yeah, I remember that.
Rupert Bear edition. Yeah, it was a fabulous furry. Was it Fred Brothers? And yeah, I like Viz. Weird, trippy thing. But yeah, I was full of that sort of stuff when I was young. I was very ideas and sort of talking. And I actually got loads of us to join Weymouth Silver Band. And that was because I fancied one of the blokes there. But we all joined for Duke of Edinburgh. The music badge. But I instigated it all. I said, we'll join Weymouth Silver Band. I played cornet. I got quite good.
Cornet?
Yeah, and then life happened. So, yeah. I might have ended up as some sort of like advertising executive. Who knows?
Children,
Yeah,
we've all got this creative streak as kids when we're uninhibited, you know.
I was just permanently looking for sort of adventure, something to zap it up a bit, you know. And I think that's why I took to searching for the truth, because it's constant adventure.
True.
All the time.
Yeah, true. Or just wanting to know about the unknown, but then, I mean, then you realise that that's why it's called the unknown, because you're not going to know.
I think there's a lot, like Shakespeare said, there's a lot more to heaven and earth, something or something, Horatio.
Mm.
And all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players.
Yeah.
Bloody true. Because all we do, we put on a mask all the time we go out. We can be really, really pissed off, but we'll go in the shop and smile and say thank you, even though we just feel like wanting to rip the head off everybody. We can't do that. We've got to put on the brave face, you know. And when you do, it's like when you go for a job, it's a job role. So you're just fulfilling a role. So when you're being a professional person, you're not being yourself. You're just fulfilling this role as a professional person. So you might be thinking, God, this guy's a complete prick. But you're actually saying, of course, sir, I completely agree. Please take a seat.
I think that's why when I did my work experience for whatever I was studying, I realised straight away that I can't do this. I can't do it. I can't be in an office in this hierarchy and this working your way up some sort of. They never taught me this.
Yeah.
I thought it was about the knowledge and the thing that I had got, and I'm supposed to implement that somehow. This is about fulfilling people's requirements, and half of them are unnecessary. A better job could be done, but they're not interested. And I just couldn't do it. I had to. I think a friend of mine, he was working for his dad who worked for BT, and he was up a ladder somewhere. And I thought, well, that looks fun. I'll come and hold the ladder or something. You know? What, you get paid to not be in an office? I'll do it. Whatever it is, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And that's how I started in my work.
I just never bothered about anything. I've never had any ambition. Never. It wasn't until I went to university as a mature student that I sort of developed this sort of mild ambition to sort of teach. But the hierarchy, once I got into work, was just depressing, man. You know?
Yeah, I think I got my dad to thank for telling me, or actually showing me, that he did loads of studying, and got to be a lecturer in a college and this and that. But a teacher's wage, it's nothing. And they don't allow you to empower any students or anything. In fact, they want you to a few to fail, a few to pass. These ones to go into this group, this one's to go into that group. It was horrible.
Well, when
Scripted,
I was at
isn't
university,
it?
'cause
Yeah,
I wanted to go into secondary education teaching and teach like older teenagers because I get on well with them, because I think I got arrested development at 17. I really identify with that age group. It's really strange, but everybody, and there were quite a few mature students on there with me, and in the final year at university they were all frantically doing their GCSE maths, because you need GCSE maths to do PGCE secondary bloody English. And there was absolutely no way in a million years was I going to push myself to do GCSE maths on top of a bloody third year at university. And I was doing a double degree as well. When I had kids at home, I was travelling from Weymouth to Bath 3 days a week. And I thought, sod that. So I went into adult ed and worked in the prison. Did my PGCE in the prison with on a mixed group. It was an experimental group of civilians and prisoners. And it was a real eye-opener. It was good.
Like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah. It was but yeah. And then I said, can I do work experience here? And the next thing I was bloody working there. And it was literally being pushed into the front of a class and being asked to get on with it. It was baptism of fire, really. There's no finesse.
So the way I've seen education is that the early years of O-level, A-levels are just a sort of sorting ground for people that will, if you're going to be open-minded and this and that, no. You got to be very close-minded and focused on just getting what they want you to get. You're not going to understand it. You're just going to have to memorize, repeat, regurgitate, and just pass those things to get that qualification or whatever it is. Only after a few more levels do they actually teach you anything in the degree stage. But then you're forced to make sure that you use that degree cert, not for the knowledge part, but to go and earn money to pay back the loan for the degree, which could take a lifetime, 30 years.
Yeah, I paid mine back. I should be so lucky I wasn't in work long enough.
So they might go up after 30 years, right?
Yeah.
But it's bullshit. It's just to get you into the debt system, isn't it, as a young person?
Yeah, the whole thing. And you can't speak your own mind unless you've got a really, really good argument. I mean,
No, you can't.
Somebody gave me some advice. They said, give them what they want. Because the second year I sort of struggled, and he just said, just give them what they want. So the third year I went in, and if they were into a certain, like I did poetry, and the poet was really into a Irish poet called Seamus Heaney, Sean Heaney, or something like that. Anyway, when I did this essay, and I put in quotes in from this guy saying, as blah 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 said, blah blah blah, and he'd go, yes, double tick,
So
because it
Exactly.
was what he wanted to hear.
Exactly. This is the difference between A star, A star.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, the carrot is that little letter.
So you can't really sort of have a good argument to go against what's already been hashed and rehashed and presented and re-represented again and again and again. And all of these academics are all like obsessed with their shit, their field, it's their baby.
This is the thing, because when you get to that level of where you've got to now write a thesis and show the world, theoretically, that this is a new thing. That's what PhD is supposed to be, isn't it? Your own interpretation.
You just continue with this. You get an area, and then you start to.
And you're categorized into that tiny little group.
Yeah.
Have to fulfill these particular things, just like any other little test that they put you through.
I was watching this program about bioluminescence the other night, And there was this scientist who's been studying glowworms for 15 years. It's one particular type of these glowworms, because they do flashing patterns. And they said, blah, 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 has been studying the glowworms for 15 years, studying fucking glowworms.
Yeah.
And that's his area of speciality. That's what he does. He's just studying them.
Well,
And that's what they do.
well, you look at the guys that have been our past inventors that have all been hushed down, and they came up with the levitation stuff and the flying stuff and everything way before anyone else did. So that would be another way to keep that a lid on things, no?
It's like human beings have to know everything about everything. Everything.
That's the problem. And they don't want you to think that they don't know.
Yeah.
It's not what we've been studying. It's we haven't got a clue how the fuck this works, but we need to use it for probably a military purpose first, and then you'll get the dregs of it in some sort of little gizmo.
Yeah, we were talking about that today. I said it's like you go to the shop and you get like my first mobile phone and my first camera. And like, that's pretty much what they've given us. And so we'll give them that. It can be like their first mobile phone.
What makes me laugh is
iPhone 3.
I think it was 2005 or 4, something like that. I don't know the exact year, but the smartphones came out, whatever it was, the Apple or whatever. And my friend was showing me stuff that was like, huh, what's this thing? And he goes, oh, it's a trade show, and it's the phones that, you know, this is what you're going to get. And it was like a piece of Perspex, which was flexible. So imagine just a piece of paper that was see-through, you know, like a bit of cling film, but
Yeah,
stadium. That was the phone in a phone shape, and you could fold it up into and put it in your wallet. That was then. Have we seen that yet? No.
but it's like loads of films, and I've seen pictures, illustrations show those computers that just sort of appear in the air that they can just write on.
What's
So
the
they
thing?
exist.
Stuff now they've got that stuff. You know, I don't know how to say it without getting, but
Because
you know,
when they show NASA and places like that, they're all sat with these clunky old computers and all this sort of archaic old crap. I thought they'd all have those right on the air stuff.
That's kind of thing they would show you on Tomorrow's World, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I used to hate Tomorrow as well. I just thought it was really dreary. I thought, God, what a crappy future it's going to be. I was right.
it's all grey as well, grey and white, grey and
Yeah, it was like really like, and they were like miserable presenters.
yeah.
Typical BBC. I bet if we heard it now, we'd be shocked at how clipped their accents are, because it's gone much more diverse now, hasn't it? Sort of diverse, but still with that BBC sound to it. BBC sort of acting, the acting BBC style as well, like in Doctor Who.
Oh
Is it
god.
only me that sees it? I see this sort of like a wooden sort of style. Brit school.
Oh yeah.
Brit school sort of acting.
Well, the British Empire. I remember that.
All right, Gav. You know, these Cockney girls. All right, Gav.
Yeah.
Clean your shoes, Gav. Brit school.
We have a few Americans listening in. They'll relate.
Well, Americans, you have the Disney programming.
Bless them.
We've all been subject to Disney programming, but I've got Disney programming to thank in some respects, for waking me up from quite an early age, because I soon realised that when I saw the royal family, that it was a whole bunch of crap about the princess finding this handsome prince, because when I saw them, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't understand, because I was quite young. I couldn't understand why they were so like weird looking and ugly. you know, and I remember saying to my mum and dad at the time, why do we have to have the royal family? How could I be a member of the royal family? They said, no, you have to be born into it. And I just couldn't get my head around it at all. How can you be born into the royal family? And I became a little bit obsessed about them for a while because I found out that they have a new pair of socks every day and things like that. I was quite young. But I thought, no, this is wrong. And then school was the other one. Why do we have to go to school? Because you have to. It's the law. Why? Why do we have to wear school uniform? Because you have to. There's never any answers, were there?
I'm just reading EW's comment. The chewing gum, that is a meal. I think that is what they are planning for us. Do you remember Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? The chewing gum meal.
Yeah, chewing gum. Yeah, oh, it was just school was a nightmare. It's all just been a bit of a nightmare, really.
Thing with school is you don't actually learn anything till you leave, do you? That's when your real learning starts.
It's awful.
Oh, yeah, when you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as that really learning.
Oh, God.
It's just keeping you away from your childhood. That's all it is. It's just stopping you enjoying the small amount of childhood you have.
Yeah. And look at the age they teach them up now. Expect them to know all kinds before a certain age where that never existed before.
Mm,
Yeah, still in the childhood, that's what they're doing. I want you to use your own imagination.
yeah.
Program them young.
Yeah. It's going to be all about the AI, I think, as well, because there's all this AI art out now. And you just put in a few words and it brings up this spectacular art. And Mind Unveiled channel's done like a whole thing of it.
It's like the old NFTs that were going around, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Computer.
they've done these Tartarian type photographs of empty cities and things like that. And I'll tell you what, you couldn't tell one of them apart from the stuff that that has been being produced and put out at the moment that people have been showing. So they might have been putting a lot of AI generated artwork out as a distraction before they release this program to the general public. They might have been doing it for years.
It's been there for years, mate.
Yeah.
I think when we start knowing about it, or the average truth
Yeah, it's been out at least 50 years.
been out for donkeys, mate.
Yeah.
Again, that's another thing with the whole monopolized, monetized truth movement shit that goes on. They never seem to have anything to tell you that's going to happen next week.
Yeah.
It happened in the past, and all the little ponderings about it only. They know as much as we do.
Less, actually.
Mm.
A lot less.
They probably know absolutely nothing, just what info has come in the email box needs to be collated, edited together by the editing staff and blah, 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 blah.
That's the one.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
with it. I've got a neighbour, she just sends me, she never talks, just video. What did you do with all of it? I'm sure everything's useful and bloody brilliant, but then
What are they videos of?
literally whatever it is, I'm telling you, it's something useful and something me and you would say, oh yeah, we knew that, but we know that. I mean, it's great stuff.
Oh, I see. Is it a baby truther?
Literally, I think, yeah, that's what it is. But they're everywhere.
I know.
We didn't, I mean, honestly, I think I had to go through all my dad's thermodynamics and engineering books and shit a good few years ago, rather than watching some videos about this and that. Okay, they're all saying the same thing. I get it now. I get everything about FE, but I need to go
Yeah.
do some research.
Mm.
Go into fluid mechanics, going to source and sink theory, everything, and just confirm it.
Mm.
Yep, I know it's brilliant the way that the info is put out there, this that, and the other, but it's so repetitive and so continuous and so just
Oh,
you into one little thing. No finding out how it works, no understanding about what the physical world is under our feet, above our head, around us, how to use it, nothing.
it astonishes me how nobody ever thinks about looking down below.
Yeah.
It
They seem to
astonishes me how FPV has been the only one really to actually delve down and have a little proper look at, you know, how it's in everything, the underworld, everything.
Real world, innit? Real world stuff. EW says, please watch Alison McDowell to understand the direction this is all going, especially with school. She's a real activist and researcher, not controlled opposition.
nice.
Yeah,
I'll look her up, yeah.
Real people.
yeah, that's what we like to hear from real people. People that can think still.
Yeah, real people doing something.
Using their brain power.
Yeah, yeah.
Regurgitating stuff isn't using it, is it?
No.
That's just memory.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's probably lots of people we should watch. In fact, they should be watching us as well, shouldn't they? Maybe one day. In fact, you know, with the streams, when we get back into doing our lives, we should bring more guests on.
Yeah, that'll be good.
You know, it'd be
That'd
nice
be
to
good.
get some more people on and have a chat with them.
Mm.
There's probably lots of people want to chat to us about our research
Yeah, yeah.
and, you know, see where theirs leads to it, because, you know, everyone's got pieces of the jigsaw. Let's see what they've got.
Maybe get people to do little presentations. If I can't get a video together, I could do a presentation.
Yeah, or even help them, you know. I do like helping people. If they can't manage
Yeah.
it themselves, I do like helping them. There's a lot of talent out there, and, you know, they don't get the chance to express it.
That's it. That's it. There's not God, there's no sense of community anywhere anymore, I don't think. There certainly isn't any around here. This place is like weird.
It's up to us to make sure that we do that.
Well, yeah, I've been thinking about it, how to sort of
Outside, I just have to talk to them now. Not just about anything. Just, how you doing?
Oh yeah, I do that.
Constant, right?
Yeah, I've usually got the dog with me, so he
People need it. They like it.
That's it, you know. All we ever do really is help each other, isn't it? When you think about it, we just give each other's advice, tips, ideas, you name it.
Yeah. Bits we find out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some more lives and get more people involved in this.
Well, it starts with the practical things, because I think when I years ago, my mate was telling me you need to sort the energy thing out and the standing charge bollocks and this and that. Did the U switch? Did all the research, and I ended up going on a pay meter, and everyone said that's crazy. That's the most expensive way to ever, but it hasn't been. And the way that it works depends what the deal you've got with whichever company. You could set up those deals how you want it, but they never say you never get any of that option when you just think that you have to go to one of these big brand names. But the one that I'm with doesn't offer the package to anyone. They say they're not looking for any new customers because obviously they're, you know.
Yeah, well, it's all gone like closed. They're all closed like shop now because of this energy thing.
Yeah. But and years ago they were telling us about the solar and how to do it and how to get it. And now it's I don't know, I guess it's still around. We still talk about it, I know. We do all the time. All of these things. They always have been. But should people actually do it, and should we try and actually get it together so we know this is what we've got to do, this is how we're going to be independent of this, that and the other.
Solar panels.
Solar panels or the diesel thingy.
Well,
And
I can't understand how everybody's got their gardens festooned with solar lights when we can actually probably run our entire houses on the bloody things.
yeah. Well, it's like the whole Lecky car thing, isn't it? Why didn't they put the bloody solar charging thing in the roof?
Yeah, it's just
I mean, it's supposed to be like the most modern thing. This is more backward than the 1800s electric cars.
So the whole bodywork should be solar then, shouldn't it?
Exactly. If they can do carbon
yeah,
fiber,
they could
they could-
probably do it. They could probably do it. They could probably develop something.
or hydro as
Probably have. Yeah,
There's-
they probably
And not,
do.
and not just solar, you know, we've got Luna we can play with as well,
Yeah.
true.
and possibly others.
Electromagnetics,
Yeah, yeah.
the obvious one.
Yeah, there's lots we can be playing around with. Yeah, more projects, that's what we need, you know. I do like these electronics projects, I do follow a lot of them. And there's some really good ideas coming out now on getting your bills down and things like that. I did put a link in the back chat to one. I'd like to show that to people on the stream sometime. But I'd have to get permission off the guy that made the video first.
Okay. Yeah.
Fantastic idea.
Well, it's really good to see one back up and about again.
Yeah, yeah. Been missing her.
And it'll do her good too to do the Sunday ones or Saturday. You did think about Saturday, didn't you? Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah, we do want to change it to a Saturday.
Yeah.
That's the plan. So we should go for the Saturday night.
I'll tell you another good channel that I've watched for a while is Dr. Parkenstein. Have you seen that?
No.
That's a new one.
It's been around a while. Parker Edmondson, I think he's on YouTube as, but Dr. Parkenstein is his handle on other things. Watch a few of them.
What's he like a scientist, like a alternative scientist?
Old scientist, yeah, that does
Yeah.
actually does stuff, you know. I mean, I think he's on some ranch, I don't know, but
Oops, we've just lost Jax.
oh,
And one's not here anymore to bring her back.
oh,
Unless she can still join. She might be able to.
but yeah, there's a few good channels. A few good.
Drop us a link to that, Baron. I've heard of that one.
Let me copy the link somehow. How do you do that?
Because I'm sub to a lot of, you know, alternative channels.
I'm so useless at all of this. I'm on his channel, Parker Edmondson. How do I get a link?
Top of the page, the URL. Should be able to right click it and copy it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Copy. And then go back to our live and put in the chat. Paste.
Ooh, hydropower, EW said. She studied landscapes. Yeah, I've got it.
Sweet.
That's a new one on me, so I'll bookmark that.
Well, actually, I found I found him in TikTok in 2020 when people were going on about the whole, if you're stuck at home, you need to be independent of this and that, because some places in America or somewhere didn't have any power. And I don't know how long he's been going on for, but there was a couple of others. Just trying to find how old. Yeah, save that one.
Yeah, I'll check that out later on.
Yeah, I just dropped out then.
Yeah, we've seen that. Lucky you got back.
Yeah, Google just closed and I had to completely reopen it.
It's the RAS Wi-Fi in it.
Yeah. It's actually not been so bad here, but I suspect they've put the 5G on.
One conscience is Wi-Fi lurgy.
It's much better than it was here. Sort of suspiciously so.
Yeah, I'm going to shut the stream down soon, guys, because I'm up early.
Yeah, getting a bit weary.
It's been fun
Yeah.
though.
Been a great night. Lots of
No, it's been good to
topics
put
to talk
in.
about.
Do it more often and I'll be a bit better prepared next time. But yeah, it is good to talk about what's going on with people who get the other bits that I can't talk about with my family, you know.
Yeah, that's been the best bit, really. It makes me realise, I mean, it's honestly, the little groups help so much because you just live everybody else's experience, which is the same as yours, really.
Yeah.
But when you face it in real life, it's like, well, I know there's other people that don't think like this.
Yeah.
Not me, you know.
And it's sort of like I just feel sort of in a way sort of detached from it all. It's a really strange feeling. It's like
And we don't concern ourselves to just those kind of topics either, do we? You know, we talk about everything, don't we?
Yeah.
But it's always like quite useful and fun.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, it's not like we're talking about what was on telly and Big Brother and, you know.
We might recommend a series or a film.
Definitely.
Yeah.
One that watch this with open eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's about, really, isn't it? Point something there. Oh, check this out. This is very interesting. And it usually is, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all on the same page.
And they don't have to tell you what it's about. You just go and look and you'll see it.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go to sleep now, so I shall see you all tomorrow, I expect.
Yeah, and you will, Jax. Been a lovely chat.
Love you, my angel.
I'll give it a hug for you all.
Love to everyone, mums and parents and families and
Yeah,
everyone.
love to our families.
Yeah, hugs all around.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Night.
Good night, everyone. Thanks
Bye,
for
Pat.
popping in and listening and tolerating us on all these different subjects. Piezoelectrics. Yeah, we've got a man that can help you with that EW. He's called Jimbo. We'll make sure he's on the panel next time with us.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Jimbo's Street, that. Anyway, thanks everyone, and we'll catch you on the next live, which will probably have a research related material and maybe some new subjects and topics. So thanks for coming and see you next time.
See you, everyone.